Welcome everyone to another Pathfinder game in the Adventures Nexus. Let's immediately start out by just introducing our two characters for today. So we'll start with Aberdeen and then Sandra.
All right. Bender playing Rua Guru. She is a wolf folk type person, and she is an inquisitor. Been trying to hunt down a couple werewolves, but to no success or anything like that yet. And has been on one adventure so far, and that has been quite an experience for her. Never had rabies before. Don't want it again. And there we go.
All right, and Neri.
Right. So my name is Sandra, and I'm playing Neri. She's a wyvern. Wyvern. I don't know how to pronounce that. So basically, what is displayed in the picture, and she is 7'8" tall, weighs 225 pounds, and she basically she's a sorcerer, and very charismatic, and tries to usually charm her way around things, and not magically, just by being herself, really. Yeah, she usually gets like really weird looks. She's been on one adventure so far as well, and well, that adventure turned out all right. If I remember correctly, we didn't actually kill anyone. I think we avoided like all bloody combat by role playing well. So she was used as a mount mainly for Jubei. But well, she had a lot of fun, and she could like train a little more, so that was good. So she learned like a new spell, a new cantrip, and well, she's excited to go on another quest. And she really wants to get her flights permit. So before we start, can she like just get that? She's got money to pay it now.
Do you have 1,000 gold?
Yes.
Oh, so you go into the during downtime. You go into the.
1,000? I thought it was 100. Never mind. I have 411. Well, forget about that.
So you go in there and you're like, how much do I need for my flyers permit? And they just tell you, and you're like, dang it.
Aw. Okay, I'm going out again. Aw, that's disappointing. Okay, I'm done. I'm sorry.
So you guys stay at the same place. So the same messenger approaches you, and he's actually he looks like a dwarf who's actually still, it looks pretty slender for a dwarf, and he approaches you and he says, hey, you two, I heard you were up here, so thought I'd deliver this message for you. Sergeant Pennyworth is looking for you.
Oh, I know Sergeant Pennyworth. I have seen him before, so that is the person that I took you to, Ruru. Remember?
She yips.
All right, so let's go. Let's just walk over where Sergeant. Where is he at currently? Can you tell us that too?
I just didn't want to interrupt you.
Oh, I'm sorry.
At the Adventurers Hall.
All right. Well then, thank you very much, dear messenger, and have a great day. Be blessed.
He just gives you two of the letters anyways, and he's like, just in case you forget. And he walks away, searching through more letters.
Oh, that's really handy. I forget things sometimes, though. Okay, let's go to the Adventurers Hall. Yeah, I think that's what he said. Okay, let's go. And she just walks out.
Ruru follows her.
Okay, it takes you about an hour. You go through the plaza and get to the Adventurers Hall. Again, all these buildings are large, made of stone or some sort of stone-like substance, wooden, and seem pretty Pretty diverse in structure. Most of these buildings are from different cultures as well, depending on who built them at the time. And you go into the Adventurers Hall, and Sergeant Pennyworth is there waiting for you. And how this room looks like is as soon as you first enter, there's this large bulletin board on the right side, and it opens up into a larger room on both sides. There's a lot of round tables. You can see servants, retainers handing out food to everyone. There's a kitchen on the left side of the building, and well, that's as far as you can really go. You're not allowed upstairs for some reason. And Sergeant Pennyworth ways over to you. He's standing by what looks like a counter with a couple of retainers standing there doing paperwork.
We're like Neri will approach him.
Hello there, Neri. How goes your stay at the Adventures Nexus so far?
It is quite all right. I had a lot of fun, and we successfully solved a mystery as to who was like spending like I don't know, that's not the right word. I don't know. Intriguing and trying to break like never mind, it's a long story. It was really interesting. We solved a mystery and we helped people. So that was really, really fun. I guess the
About the
answer is
whole
good.
thing with the kobolds?
Yes.
You know, I read the report, right? And he just shows you this file that he has in his hand.
I did not know that, but well, you're a well-read man, so I hope you like the story. I like being in the story.
Right. Well, I have another so-called story for you to be a part of, if you're interested.
Oh, that's great. Yes. Yes, sir.
All right.
Nods.
He pulls out a map and he says, "You'll be heading to a city called the City of Brimstone. It's a city that is constantly waging war with the local orcs on the island. The orcs it's been mostly a siege up until this point, where they have been able to expand slightly to gather resources on the island itself. Knowing that, there is a mine that they've been trying to use as of late, and they've managed to secure it and protect it quite well. However, with the recent troubles that they've been having, some miners are refusing to work, and they've somehow have been caused a large halt in the mining process. Your job is fairly simple. Go to the mine and get things cleared up.
Get things cleared up. Can you be more specific?
Well, if it's just a handful of dwarves causing the mine to be halted, then you should be able to defeat them. If you can convince them to get back to work, that would be probably much better.
All right, so our objective is to make sure that the work at the mine resumes.
Yes.
By any means?
Well, the means are up to you, so yes.
Oh, okay. Did you get that, River? Well, how do we get there?
He says by gate, as usual. They have a gate built in for us. However, I'd be very cautious for the both of you. Being monstrous humanoids, the citizenry of Brimstone may be quite hostile or unfriendly towards you.
We probably need a spokesperson as someone who looks more normal.
He says, "Do you have anyone in mind? I can go summon them."
Well, there's only a few people that I know. So Juve has had a question, and I think no. I know the woman, the redhead woman, and the guy I met at the bar with the crowd. What was his name? Frederick, I think. Fred. So the redhead woman or Fred would probably match the description.
Right. Frederick, right?
I think
Mercenary?
so. Yes. Yes, I think so. He said he was like in the elite thing too, just like me.
Oh, the elite bracket. Yeah,
Yes.
I can go summon him.
See, Ruru, now we're not entirely well, different, I guess. And someone normal looking is gonna come and accompany us, so that's good. That's good. Good start. Don't make that noise. That's not nice.
Okay. So Sergeant Pennyworth leaves and he comes back with a young looking man who is about 5'8" tall. He has short brown hair and blue eyes. He's tan. He looks really strong actually and quite agile. And he seems to be very aware of what's happening around him. And though the only thing that off puts both of you is that for someone who's claims to be a fighter, he doesn't seem to be wearing any armor. He carries a long sword, shield, a lucerne, which is like a polearm hammer with a pick at the end on the other side, and a longbow with a quiver of arrows with 40 arrows in it. He has some other traveling equipment as well. And he looks to Neri and he says, "Hey, heard you called me out by name. Finally need that help, did you?" You're muted, Neri. Okay, so Frederick is talking to you, Neri. He says, "So you finally asked for my help."
Well, yeah, you're a normal looking person. Hi, Fred. Good to see you again. I already went on my first adventure. It went really well. I don't know if you read the story. Sergeant Pennyworth did, and he had a lot of fun, is what he said. So, yeah, we're going to Brimstone, and Sergeant Pennyworth said that we're too strange looking, and we will probably be very suspicious. And you came to my mind since you already guided me around. You know, I thought you were like a really pretty nice face to talk to the people at Brimstone.
Sergeant Pennyworth kind of chuckles, and Frederick scratches the back of his head, and he's like, thanks, but I'm not particularly a nice person to talk to."
Well, I think I can make up for that. I think I'm nice, but you at least look normal. I mean, we won't get any like very far with our looks. And like she points at the wolf next to her.
Ruru sits there and comes up to Fred and starts smelling him.
Okay, he smells like he's been sweating a lot lately.
She snorts and walks away, shaking her head.
Don't be rude.
Right.
See, that's what I mean.
Right. Yeah, I'll come with you. Should be pretty easy enough. And
Also, you seem pretty nice to me. So, there's that. Are you ready to go? Because we're ready to go.
yeah, I'm ready to go. And Sergeant Pennyworth nods and he says, "Well then, let's get going and we'll send you through the gate." And he takes you to the southwestern gate, and you guys go through go through the outer rings, of course, noticing the various monsters and strange creatures that are walking about. You get to the gate, and the He gives the golem a particular hand sign, and the golem opens the door. And a blinding light, as normal, greets you as the door is cracked open. He says, "As usual, I have an adventurer waiting for you on the inside. He'll be at the mine, so you'll still have to deal with the citizenry."
Yeah, what is his name?
I believe you haven't met him, but it would be Tribben, the halfling.
Oh,
Yeah, you've met him.
All right, Tribben the halfling. I think keep that in mind. Okay, but I think Fred will do the talking. I'm not too sure. Okay, let's go.
I hope not, because his fucking charisma sucks. So you guys step through the gate, and when you get into Brimstone, the first thing you notice is that this place is very well constructed. Everything is made of stone, though, and not very much wood. You're looking around and you are convinced that this place might be full of dwarves, but it's actually mostly full of humans. In your immediate vicinity, you notice that you're basically surrounded by churches. There is a lot of cathedrals and temples in your immediate vicinity, and all of them seem to be worshiping some sort of god. Though, roll me a religion check if anyone has it or wants to roll it.
Okay, give me a sec. Do I have it? Don't know if I have that one.
Frederick.
What does religion go on? Is that knowledge?
Yeah.
Or do I have to have the skill?
You have to have the skill.
I don't have religion
Neither
then.
do I.
Okay, so you're looking at all these temples, and they're all to strange gods. Though both of you being at least casters of some sort, you can sense positive energy coming from them. They feel comfortable to be near. Frederick says, "I just looking at these buildings, they all appear that they could withstand considerable damage from catapults. I guess what they say about this place is true, that they take a lot of attacks from orcs."
Well, that explains all the churches and cathedrals, doesn't it? I mean, you got to have a lot of faith to constantly keep winning a war, a never-ending war, really.
Well, that's true. But no point in standing around. So let's ask for some directions and start getting around.
Right. So let's find the what was his name again? Tribben, the halfling.
So you guys are discussing about your plan, and you hear somebody clearing his throat. And you all look over, and you see what looks like some sort of Templar. His upper body is covered in full plate, but below his waist is what looks like some sort of mage's robes. He carries a very thick broadsword and a shield on his back, and he says, "Hail, travelers! You must be from the Nexus. Obviously, I'm the gatekeeper here."
Are you Tribben the halfling?
Ruru shakes her head no.
Yeah.
He is a human.
I'm sorry, I haven't met many halflings yet.
He's like, "I'm rather insulted, almost, but that's besides the point. I'm here to give you a local map of the area and to help guide you through this place. It's quite a large place, and there's many streets, and it's very easy to get confused with the canal system we have in place. But I'll lead you to the gate, at least."
Thank you, and I'm so sorry. I did not mean to insult you.
It's no matter.
Okay.
He says, "Feel free to ask any questions about Brimstone while you're here." And before I go through this segment, I am going to take a quick bathroom break.
Okay. So, what do we want to ask this guy?
What are we here for?
Also, well, quick recap. So, we're in the city of Brimstone. They have issues with the orcs, and they kind of something's going on in the mines, and they stopped working. And we got to figure out why and make sure that the work at the mine resumes, that they pick up the work again.
Yeah. I think we might want to ask him how he would prefer us to take care of that, whether it be by force or by actually sitting there and trying to convince them. Because if they're just wanting to get rid of the troublemakers, we can do that.
They don't even know what the troublemakers are, though. Like, what the issue is.
Oh, okay.
Might be fine, or a giant stone that fell in the entrance and locked them inside. You know? I don't know.
Okay. I'll be right back, too. So if he gets back before me, let him know. I'll be right back.
Sure.
All right, you guys still here?
I'm the only one. He went AFK now.
Okay. Well, we know where he went.
Yep.
Okay.
Hey.
Back to.
All right. So as you're walking across this part of the city, you realize that this part, like, the city is huge. It takes you an hour to get to through one segment of the city.
Can I ask a question while we're walking? Like, because he offered.
Yeah.
So I actually have two questions. So I would ask do you know how long the mine has been halted? Like, how long this issue persists?
The what?
How long has the mine been halted for? Like, when did it stop? When did they stop working?
I wouldn't know anything about that. I just have specific instructions to help you get through the city.
Oh, well, do you know where we can find Tribun the Halfling then?
If he's at the mine, then he's 2 days away. But you just have to follow the road.
All right. I'm sorry. Please continue.
Stop interrupting me.
I'm so sorry.
Ruru sticks her tongue out.
You literally said if you have any questions, ask me, and I thought I'd come up with questions. So. Sorry.
So, as you're walking through this place, it feels like that this place is heavily religious. As you notice that there's a lot of Templars similar to him, though each Templar has maybe a different symbol of what you guys assume is gods on their backs and fronts and on their shields. Although they have these huge cathedrals, there's so many Templars and so many clerics that they actually have to put altars outside of the temples for communal events. You do notice that there's a few forges or other simple crafting shops near the temples, and they seem to be dedicated to clerics who take up crafting, but they are just doing light work. It seems it doesn't seem to be anything extensive, and just by looking at them, you can tell that they don't have anything in the fronts to sell. So you think that they might move their goods elsewhere.
Okay.
After the hour of walking, he's showing you, of course, the local environment of at least the Templars area, and it seems pretty uniform. There doesn't change from each other temple, just basically their own decorations. Then you get to the wall, and the wall is massive, and just by looking at it, it's about 30 feet tall. And by looking at the gate that you're now in front of, you see that the wall's about 15 feet thick. Whether there's actually people inside or it's solid stone, you're not really sure. But it's pretty huge. And by looking through this portcullis, you notice that the city still continues on. Like, this isn't the exit of the city. This is just a segment that they walled off.
Why is there a wall here?
He looks over. The Templar looks up to you and he says, well, the lords of this place decided that in order to keep more maintenance of their specialities, they would put up thick walls. Though it's also a pretty strong defensive strategy, since if they break through our strongest defenses, which is the front gate, we will have more advantages by fighting along the walls than on the ground.
I guess that makes sense. Thank you.
He says also the lords don't always get along together, and we've broken our city up into segments to specialize different paths of life, such as we're about to head into the the crafting area where we handle all the shopping and merchandise. Of course, you can sell stuff anywhere, but this is where it all mostly goes. This is where the best stuff is.
Okay.
So this is going to be awkward for everyone except for Ruru Guru and the Templar. So you guys go up to the portcullis where you see 4 Templars on the one side. On your side, and they say, all right, we don't want to really bother one of our own, but we do need to see if you have passes. And of course the Templar pulls out his pass and and it's a small piece of paper, and he's like, all right, thank you, brother, and he puts away his pass. Frederick's like, wait, we need a pass?
Is that the thing that the messenger gave us? And she pulls out the scroll thing, the letter that they received.
No, it's just an adventurer's notice.
yeah, I know, but she's trying,
Yeah,
that's what I would do.
You're looking at it, and it's just a letter. It's just an adventurer's notice say you've been summoned to the guild by Sergeant Pennyworth.
This can't be it.
No.
What about my anklet? That's
just an emblem. So people they see it and they're like, "Oh, you're from the Nexus, so you should have your pass."
She's really trying hard to come up with some sort of pass. I don't. Where would I get the pass from again?
The Templar kind of looks at the two, all of you. He's like, "You don't have a pass?"
Ruru shakes her head.
Ruru, you do have one.
I do?
Yeah, you were given one last mission.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
It's the passport.
Okay.
Because they said you might encounter border guards, just in case.
Gotcha. Okay. Ruru swift shifts, and she's now into her hybrid form. All right. I think he means this, and she pulls out this pass that she got from last time. But then hands it over to the Templar.
Okay. The one Templar walks up to you, and he flips through this little flip book, and he says, well, at least one of you is from the Nexus. And he's looking at them all the other two. And he's like, and he gives back your passport. And he's like, It's good. And he steps away from you. Not really sure how to identify Ruru. And the Templar scratches the back of his head and he's like, man, you guys must be new.
Yeah, this is my second mission.
He's like, well, I'll vouch for them. They're with me. I'm the gatekeeper. I'm the assigned gatekeeper for this week. So I'm okay, that is loud.
What, my whiner?
No, you're just audio, just sudden buzzing.
All right, hold on. Let me get it down again.
He says, I'll vouch for them. I'm this week's gatekeeper, so I know that they came through here for a matter of fact. And the other Templars say, oh, all right, you're their charges. And he's like, yeah, that's easily done. And they give you guys like little pamphlets, and you look them over. It's just like a temporary pass. They stamp it, and they say, this is only good for a week until your assigned Templar is off duty.
I see. Brewer, where did you get this pass?
Oh,
I need to get one of those too.
I think Pennyworth gave it to me. I don't remember.
Did Pennyworth give you one of those passes too, Frederick?
Frederick shrugs. He's like, this is my first mission, so no, I don't think he bothered to get me one.
Well,
That's very forgetful of him.
I think it's pretty obvious that he's prone to forgetfulness.
No, I'm talking about. Are you talking about Pennyworth?
Yeah. He forgets to give you guys a lot of things.
oh, really? I thought he was like some sort of all-knowing. I read the report and shit, you know.
Well,
I'm like, okay, sorry.
He reports and he gives you guys assignments. He's not all-knowing.
Yeah, I don't know, but a person that talks like that, I would figure they would just structure their day better. God, well, this is unfortunate. At least we got the temporary passes. And then once we get back, we will get our real passes, I guess. I didn't even know that was necessary, but okay, let's proceed.
So the Templars open the gate, and as you get through the other side, and the portcullis closes behind you, and you notice that the guards immediately going from this side of the gate to the other side, the guards on this side, there's still 4 of them, but they're not Templars. They are highly equipped soldiers in full plate, and their armor is actually differently colored. You see that 3 of the guards are wearing white armor, and the one guard that seems to be above them all is wearing blue armor. And they're decorated like they are meant to be draconic in nature. And they look at you, and the blue one says, hold and be recognized, so we know who you are.
Neri stands still.
So they walk around you and they inspect you fairly closely, and they say, well, the 2 of you will be obvious. Hopefully your friends will keep the same equipment. And they step up aside and they say, you may continue.
Thank you, friends. And she walks past them.
So as they were inspecting you, they did pat you guys down a bit, searching for hidden weapons and other potential objects.
Ruru grounded them when they got too close.
The blue one doesn't pull out his weapon, but he says, let us do our business and let you can continue without any further harassment.
Yeah, it's fine, Ruru. They're just like looking if you're being a danger, which you're not, so Just be calm, let them do the thing, and then we can continue.
Quiet, dragon. Just let us do our job.
That's what I said. He called me dragon.
So
Better
after
dog.
you don't want to have that conversation with them.
Well, no, I was talking about the fact that Amara kept calling me a dog yesterday.
I know. I was just. Do you want to say that out loud, or do you just kind of keep it to yourself?
No, I kind of thought that, mumbling it wise.
Okay. So you mumble it, and they don't really hear you, so they don't take notice. You continue. They pat you down, make sure you don't have any particular weapons that they can't see, or are particularly dangerous, and they let you on your way.
Neri is so proud that she was dressed as a dragon.
So the Templar is taking you through this place, and now you're going through this huge market area. The crowd is very difficult to actually walk through. The only break that you receive from it is that people are very wary of wary of you two, and they kind of keep a small distance away, enough for you guys to travel unhindered by the crowd. But of course, now a lot of people obviously know you and have noticed your presence. And the Templar says, we've had a lot of trouble from outsiders lately, and being unique creatures, it's unfortunately they're just wary and maybe even scared of you.
I understand.
But if you want, this is the best place to get weapons, cheap and very high quality armor as well. The downside of our situation in Brimstone is that we're pretty much in constant threat. But we've perfected our weapons and armor so much that it's very cheap and very useful weapons.
That sounds interesting.
We are actually hailed to have the best blacksmiths in the continent.
Okay. Well, Neri's or not Neri's. I looked at the word. Ruru's interested in looking at possibly more star knives and seeing if they have any special ones.
He takes you to a local shaman shop, and when you go inside, he has a bunch of them for sale, and they look very well crafted. And the owner is an orc who looks actually really out of it. He looks like he's in some sort of trance, but as soon as the door opens and you enter, he's like, "Oh, hello, friend. How can I help you this fine day?" And he's selling, of course, a variety of druidic equipment, star knives, various other small instruments for gardening, as well as many herbs and other assortments of planting and farming.
I'm surprised to see an orc in here.
He says, "Yeah, it took me a really long time to get in here. The only reason why I'm in here is because they know I came in from boat. So I'm not even part of the tribes outside, which is fortunate."
Oh. Well, I was wondering if you actually had better knives than these ones. And she pulls out both of her star knives that are just basic star knives.
He says, "Oh, yeah, definitely. You're going to need to get those." He just kind of loses himself for a moment, and then he shakes his head and regains his focus. And he says, "Yeah, I got something better than those. Yours are a little dull and pretty out of shape." And he walks over he of course pulls the one star knife that he has on display. He says, "The weapons here are very high quality, comparable to even the Mastercraft." And he hands it to you, and he says, "Give it a couple swings. You'll feel the difference."
So she puts both the other ones in one hand and grabs the other one that he's offering and kind of moves it around and twirls it a little.
It's very, of course, star knives are not meant to be weaponized, but feeling the weight of it, it's not significantly lighter, but it's a noticeable difference. And the blade itself is more slender, but also seems to be still just as sturdy.
How's the balance feel?
It's very well balanced.
Okay.
Almost perfect. Like it doesn't seem to have any extra weight in the front, which causes you to sometimes overswing.
That's basically what she was noticing was the balance on it and the fact that it's actually lighter. How much would you want for this?
He says, hold on a sec. He pulls out this clipboard, and it's got very large print in it. If you can read Orcish, you'll know that it's just the writings and prices. It seems that he's so distracted that he had to write himself a list of pricing to go by.
Yeah.
So he says, those are about 100 gold each. They're very high quality crafts, though. I know that's intimidating at first, but these crafts are much more expensive anywhere else in the continent, ranging to nearly 1,000 gold. It's
Right.
a very good deal.
How much would you buy these two from me for?
Roll diplomacy.
Okay. One moment. I gotta see what I get in there. Sorry.
He actually rolled even really high on the
What?
sense motive. You rolled really high on the sense motive, even in his current state.
Wow. I say a +1. Hold on one sec. Gotta go there. D20. Oh, hey, where am I at? Dice roller. Roll D +1. Yeah, I got a 13.
He's looking it over and he says, well, I'll buy them at your store at typical store prices, 25 gold, right?
Okay.
And he gives you the 50, puts the 50 gold in front of you, and he, takes both the star knives.
Okay. And then she buys the one star knife that's in her hand and gives him 100 gold.
And he then gives you the 50 gold back, and then he gives you another 50 gold. And he says, there, that seems like a good deal. And it's a masterwork star knife. It gives you a +1 to attack rolls.
Cool. But
and it also qualifies to be magically enchanted.
Cool. Although I'm kind of confused. Did we actually exchange money or did it just all come back to me?
You saying that in character or out of character?
In character, because she's now confused on which way the money went.
I'm gonna make him do a will save. He's like, and now looking at him, you kind of realize he's high as fuck. He's like, well, it doesn't really matter. You seem to be a good wolf, and he gives you another 50 gold. He's like, I think I paid you.
Well, thank you, kind of orc. Thank you.
Frederick's just like scratching the back of his head and shaking it.
I walk out because before I say anything else, I'm gonna bust out laughing because I just sat there and I think acquired 100 gold out of nowhere.
Well, you paid him 50, and then you gave him 100, and then he gave you 100. Yeah, he gave you 150.
Yeah.
So you made 50 gold.
And a knife.
And a masterwork knife. Yeah, star knife. So it gives you +1 to attack, but it doesn't affect your damage.
Gotcha.
and it can be used to be magically enchanted later.
So the damage is still 4, but my attack is now a +4 instead of a 3, correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
So Frederick just scratches the back of his head and he's like, wow, that really happened.
He seemed very confused in there.
So the Templar was waiting outside and he says, anywhere else you need to stop at?
I'm good. Oh, I think.
Well, I don't know. I don't think there's any armor that I could wear or that would be making sense that I would look at. So I don't know. I've been trying to figure this out while you were doing the thing. So I don't think so. And I don't know, is there like spell scrolls that I could use and buy? I really don't know what would be handy for my character to actually purchase, so
He
need a
said
little help.
he says, yeah, we can, if you're looking for scrolls, yeah, we can go to the Arcanum if you want.
Sure, but there would be right. I'm right, right? Like armor would not make much sense for her, like being a sorcerer and all that.
No.
Otherwise, I would get like arcane spell failure, correct?
Right.
Okay. Well, then let's just go ahead and go to the arcane section.
All right. So you take the long way around and you go to a gate, and of course some soldiers are looking you over. These soldiers are wearing black armor with little horns that come out of their helmets, and the one is the captain here is wearing red armor, and they look you over and they say, all right, you can go in. And you go inside and you see that there's only 2 guards here, and the one seems like to be some sort of wizard, and the other one seems to be kind of a still scholarly looking fellow, but he's carrying a great sword on his back. And the wizard approaches you as soon as you step through the gate, and he says, hello there. You 3 seem to be quite new. And the Templar is like, here we go. And he says, well, if you're in a hurry, then I won't keep you for too long. But if you wish to travel through this place accompanied by one of us, then I need you to sign a waiver. And he, of course, offers you this clipboard, and it has a bunch of paper on it. He says, I'll need you to sign this piece of paper here. It will allow you to travel through this place unhindered, and essentially, if you break the law around here, and it just tells you that we have your full permission to examine your mind and read your thoughts, as well as use your memories as proof.
Neri will like read it thoroughly, make sure there's like not signing anything she wouldn't agree to. So just saying she's gonna read it before signing, and then she's just gonna put her hand on the document. She doesn't really sign it. She just like puts her hand in ink and then just slaps it down there.
Okay. So you're reading it over, and it's basically what they say. They just want your permission to read your thoughts and use your memories if you are accused for breaking the law, because you are more aware of what you do than anyone else is. It's basically being your own personal eyewitness.
Okay. Yeah. She signs it with her hand.
Brewer dips a talon in and kind of scribbles.
Okay. Frederick signs it. And he says, all right, thank you for your patronage. I hope you have a good day. Is there any way that I can help you if you need directions or if you're looking for something?
Is there any place where we can find like magical scrolls?
He says there are plenty of stores around here, but you can go straight to the main library if you want. Though there are many stores that sell definitely higher quality scrolls meant for travel.
All right. Thank you so much. And well, if you don't have any more questions, then I would like to go to a store, please.
All right, you have a good day. And he steps aside, and the Templar leads you to uh, a new shop, and it's just full of scrolls. They're all sitting on shelves, open for viewing, even from the window. And you notice that the first thing is, of course, these buildings are built to withstand siege attacks. But what stands out to you is that there's a lot of floating orbs and golden globes in the air around this place. And when you kind of sense your energy around you, you feel like that they are kind of like probing your mind of sorts. Like they are kind of reading your mind.
Okay. I am not trying to defend myself against that because I think that's like a safety mechanism in the city. So
It's not the whole city, it's just this part.
yeah, but still, I'm not. I just want to say I'm not resisting really, like not really anything to hide. So, can I only purchase like spell scrolls that are of the spell level I can cast at the moment?
You can purchase any, but using any that is stronger than you requires a spellcraft check.
Let me see here.
So while you figure that out, Amara, you're kind of just walking in the plaza, still kind of trying to get used to the city. You're not really allowed anywhere else, considering you only have a beginner's adventurers certificate. So you can only go into the plaza in the one outer ring. As you're kind of just socializing and getting to know everyone, the large cloaked figure kind of just, I would say, almost manifests beside you, and he kind of catches you off guard, even though he's nearly 24 feet tall. He says, "Hello there, Amara."
Oh, hello. Where you weren't there a second ago, were you?
He 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 actually thinks about it. Like, you can't. There's no face to look at, but you can see that it just stops for a moment, and he says, "Yes, I wasn't here, but now I am."
Oh, well, that's impressive, honestly.
He says, "You appear. Are you perhaps bored and seek further adventure?"
Oh, I mean, I'm always up for adventure. How about you, Ray Ray? Ray Ray will jump up and down.
He then says, "Do you have your passport from the other adventure still?"
Let me check. And she's going to dig around in her backpack and bring out the border pass.
So the hood kind of nods up and down, even though there's no head to be spotted. And he says, "Good." And he says, "Follow me to the rift." And he starts heading towards the center of the plaza, where that, of course, there's this closed line of arcane energy. You know, the first thing you notice is that when he walks through people, like, they just kind of become translucent and invisible, as if he's walking, like, just his presence seems to almost erase them. But when he walks past them, they kind of reappear and they don't seem to notice him.
Okay, so I'll try and follow him as best I can without running into somebody who's disappeared.
Yeah, it's a pretty easy task. It's not like he leaves this trail of energy behind that people disappear from. It's basically when a foot around him. So you're following beside him and just avoiding the people. and he gets the closed rift, and he says, "Now the Adventurers League doesn't know that I'm sending you there, so I will have your reward already planned out now." And he says, "When your adventure ends, you will see a chest like this." And he just kind of points his arm down, and the sleeve extends and slaps the ground. And then when it will lift up, and you see this wooden chest that is gold encrusted.
Oh, that is a very nice looking chest.
He then puts his sleeve over it again, and he lifts it up, and it's gone. And he says, "You will see that when you arrive. They will tell you what you need to do when you arrive."
All right. Well, it sounds good, I suppose. A little bit mysterious, but I'm okay with that.
So he points his arm at the rift, and you can see this space, like this night sky space it kind of looks like the air, when you put like paint in water and it kind of just blows out and covers an area. That's what it looks like when he points his sleeve out, and this space like paint just covers the rift, and it slowly starts tearing open, and you see this well constructed city on the other side of it. And he says, "I will guide you to your friends. Just keep your border pass at the ready."
Will do.
So you step through the portal, and it actually is quite a painful experience. Unlike the gates that just kind of seamlessly tie you to the other realms, this portal actually feels like it's ripping you apart. And when you appear on the other side, it's like you feel this instant pain of being just ripped to pieces by just your like individual cells. And then when you get to the other side, you feel this comforting warmth of like when you're being healed.
Oh God, that was unpleasant in the extreme. Are you okay, Ray Ray? And all his fur is up, and he's sort of hissing, and I'm like, "It's all right." That was. I think I prefer the gates. I think I prefer the gates to that.
The rift closes, and people are like, "Holy crap!" And they are watching you, and you appear human to them, and of course your summon is not really off-putting, as they think he's some sort of just giant weasel. Though the other thing that you now notice is that this black kind of ball that kind of emits these yellow lights is just hovering in front of you and seems to be getting your attention.
Well, that's an odd thing, and I'll sort of reach out, not quite like think better of touching it, and be like, look around to see if anybody else is looking at this ball of black light, if they're just staring at me still.
Yeah, they're watching you, and the one commoner, he's just a young human male. He's like, what are you doing?
I came here from the Adventurers Nexus.
And do you have like some sort of outlier, like an item that has the symbol on it?
I don't know that I was given any symbol, but I'll hold up the border pass.
The person looks at the symbol. He's like, "Oh, okay." He's looking around. He's like, "It's okay. They're from the Adventurers Nexus." That's how you say that, right? And everyone kind of gets disarmed, and they're like, "Oh, it's them." And the ball of light, when you kind of put your hand over it and avoid touching it, it just starts drifting away. And it seems to be leading you along. You're looking around, and the impressions that the city gives you is very diverse. Now, what everyone else is doing while they're waiting for you is they're looking at scrolls and trying to figure out what they want. You, on the other hand, you're going through this city, and it takes you an hour just to go through this first segment, and you see all these Templars, and you at first think this city is very religious, which is partially true. You get to the gate, and you show them your border pass, and the Templars are like, okay, you're from there, and they let you through. And immediately you notice this change of mood, whereas the religious area was kind of comforting to be walking around. You're now in the crafting area where things seem very busy and seems very occupied. It's a very sudden change of pace as soon as you get in here. And you see these guards that are wearing draconic like armor. Three of them are wearing white armor, and one of them's wearing blue. And they say, we're going to search you for weapons now, so please stand still and don't make any sudden movements.
Oh, okay. And she'll cooperate.
Okay, so the three white armored soldiers, they approach you and they start patting down you and your giant weasel for any hidden weapons. And when they find none, they say, okay, you may continue on.
Thank you. And I'll look to make sure the little ball of light or the black light is still like hovering there, and I'll sort of like subtly follow it. But
unlike the summoner beforehand, everyone seems to be very aware of this thing, and they actually avoid it pretty thoroughly. Then they obviously notice that you're following it, but of course you can't just show. You can show everyone your border pass if you want. If you want to keep them disarmed.
If it looks like people are more comforted by it, but most of the time I'm probably just gonna have it. If somebody's like really freaking out, I'll be like, "Ooh, border pass."
Multi-pass.
Yeah.
So you're showing people that you're from the Nexus, and the word spreads pretty quickly. And you follow the ball, and you're noticing that this part of the city also has a canal system, and you can see boats going up and down it. And it looks like it's mostly used just to move cargo around, but you do see people just using it for transportation. And this place, unlike the segment that you were in before, seems to be this huge market. Like everyone's buying and selling here. And do you have any crafting skills that relate to weapons and armor?
No, not anything trained.
Okay. What about knowledge engineering?
No, I got knowledge planes.
Okay.
What was the question?
I was just asking her if she had any knowledge skills.
Sorry, my
knowledge
computer
plane?
had to restart on me.
Roll me a knowledge planes.
Natural 20, so 23.
You're looking up and around, and you're kind of just feeling out the energy of this plane, and it feels like except for the gloomy part of the Stone Talon Castle, you can tell that this plane is similar to that one. And looking up, you see that the constellations are still the same. Like it's daytime, but you can still see some of the stars, then the planets that are outside of it, and you notice like these are the same ones that was in Stone Talon Castle and in Tail Feather Hill. So you think that you're in the same plane as that one.
The atmosphere here is definitely different from Stone Talon, but Ray, see those stars? We're definitely in the same place.
Eventually, you get led up to this other gate, and the soldiers there, they're wearing black armor with their leader being wearing red armor. You show them the pass, and they say, "Go on in," and they don't search you for any weapons this time around. And you get into the other side, and there's a wizard there with another scholarly-looking fellow, but he's carrying a large weapon on his back, a greatsword. And he says, "Welcome to the Arcanum. Would you like to? Do you mind signing this waiver?" And he offers you this clipboard with some paper on it.
Is it written in common?
Yes. To simply put it, it's basically they're asking your permission to read your mind and use your memories if you, for some reason, are suspected of a crime. Basically, becoming your own eyewitness.
Oh, that's a little odd, but I have nothing to hide, so she'll very reluctantly sign it.
Okay. You sign it, and he says, "Very well. On your way then." And the globe eventually takes you to the scroll store, and you see a Templar. He's standing there minding his own business, and when he hears you come around the corner and sees the black ball of energy, he's like, "What the hell?" And he pulls out his sword, and then as soon as it makes contact with the building door, it just disappears.
Oh, please, come. I show him my border pass. I'm like, I'm here on official business from the Adventurers Nexus.
He's like, "Oh, right, sorry." He sheaths his sword, and he says, "I'm the gatekeeper. I didn't realize they would send more."
A last minute addition, I suppose. Sorry for startling you. This little ball of light's been leading me here, so I'm assuming here is where the rest of my companions are.
He just nods his head and gestures with his hand inside, and you can see Neri is looking at scrolls. Frederick is kind of just standing on the inside watching her, tapping his foot, and I don't know what Ruru Guru would be doing.
She's never met Neri yet, so she'll be looking pretty wide-eyed at the wyvern and being like, that's new. And then she'll see Ruru and be like, "Oh, hey, puppy." Oh, come now, don't be like that.
Did you just growl?
Yeah.
That was awesome. I'm like, what? Was it my dog? Well, Neri's like really busy looking at scrolls, like she's going through all the scrolls, so she would really not notice what's going on. She's too busy reading.
Hello, Amara.
Speaking of,
Hello, Ruru. And Raoden's gonna run up to Ruru and like start weaving his way in between her legs, like just rubbing up against her and then like a hello.
Ruru reaches down and pats it on the head.
It makes a little like trail, like.
okay, so I made a list of all the spell scrolls that I would like. Can you please tell me if they have those? Give me a second. Sorry.
So, Amara, we're supposed to be looking for Tribben again.
Oh, the little halfling.
Yeah.
I was looking around outside. I mean, we're obviously not in Stone Talon Castle, but we're definitely on the same plane, so.
Okay. Well, I need to give him back his hand axe. I forgot to do that the other day.
Well, in your defense, you were a little bit under the weather.
Yeah, that's one way of putting it.
So yeah, they have those scrolls. The cantrips that you're asking for, they are 25 gold, and all the level 1 spells, they're all 50 gold.
Oh wow, that's like twice the price that I found online. Okay. Oh, God, I have to redo my calculations then, because I don't think I have that much money. So the level 1s are 50 gold.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have that much money then.
Oh, they do. Are they cheaper?
Mm. Well, I looked it up. Scroll costs and like spell level for sorcerer, it's like 12.5 gold for cantrips and 25 gold for level 1 spell scrolls.
Okay, yeah, sorry. I just thought I was using the other one because I thought that's what their price was. Oh, they jump in price really fucking fast though. Yeah. So those would be the prices: 12.5 and 25.
Cool. So since those are 8 level 1s, that would be 200 gold. And the 3 ones that would be for 12.5, so that would be 237.5 gold, which she'll pay for all of them.
Okay. The old man behind the counter, he's like, "Thank you very much. Here's your receipt," and he gives you a copy of what you just purchased there.
Thank you. And well, I'm assuming she already knows because she's got also the cantrip read spell scrolls, I think. Read
Yeah.
magic if she needs that. So she doesn't need like further instructions, a command word, or I've never used spell scrolls before. Like me, Sandra, I don't know.
You just read them, and
Okay.
they're like casting spells typically.
Okay.
You just say, "I'm going to use a scroll of blank," and then you use it, just
And
like you're
it's an
casting
action.
a spell. The scrolls get used up after they're cast.
Yeah. And do they have a chance of failure?
Not if you're typically normal. Not if your casting ability is normally acceptable.
Okay.
So even though you don't know the spells, you can still cast them.
Mm-hmm.
But if you were to cast a spell that's higher level than what you're normally able to cast, then you'd have to roll on them.
No. Okay. So that's all I'm doing here, and I'm writing down all those spells. So that's all she'll be doing. She's like, okay, like with all those spell scrolls, like in her between her arms, trying to not let one of them fall down. She like stuffs them into the pouch, and she says, I'm good to go now. I have all I want, all I need."
Okay.
Who are you?
Oh, hello. I'm Amara. I was sent to help you guys. Oh, and this is Raoden over here beside me. And Raoden will sit up on his 2 feet and give a little chirp.
Well, hi. Well, hi. Hello, Amara. Hello, Raiden. My name is Neri. I just purchased spell scrolls. I never saw you before. Are you from the Nexus as well?
I am from the Nexus. I've been on a journey with Ruru over here before.
Oh, okay. Well, welcome to our group, and we haven't really done anything yet. Then prepare. Do you know what's going on?
No, not at all. I was just told to come here, and I was escorted here. So
Let me fill you in. So there's this mine, and the work at the mine they stopped working, and we're here to find out why and to make sure that the work at the mine resumes by any means possible and that we deem adequate. Yes, that's what we were sent out to by Sergeant Pennyworth.
oh, all right. That sounds relatively simple.
Yes, And we're just getting ready. And apparently the mine is like 2 days away. And this is where we find Tibin or Tribin, the halfling too. So we need to speak to him. And well, yeah, we found out that I don't possess a pass, so we got those temporary passes. Do you have a pass?
I do have a border pass, yes.
Oh, well, I wasn't given one of those. So lucky you. He remembered giving that to you. And what is this creature? Like
this is
legitimately, what is it?
This is my little Eidolon. He's a summoned creature. He can look however he wants, and I imagine at some point he's going to change the way he looks a little bit as he grows stronger. But for now, he's just my companion. He's always been with me for quite a while.
Huh, that's so adorable. Can I pet him?
You sure can. And she'll like sort of give him a look, and he'll walk over a little bit skeptical and like sniffer and stuff like that before allowing himself to be petted.
Okay. She will approach him, but she like drops on her forearms. She's not gonna stand anymore, like after putting the spell scrolls away. She like approaches him and like trying to pat him with her claw hand.
He sits up on his 2 feet and sniffs her, and like his little whiskers twitch, and then he does that like arcing thing like a cat, and arcs up and like rubs her chin and like back down, and then like runs back to my side.
What an amazing creature. Well, a lot of things to learn. Are you ready, or do you need to purchase anything?
I'm ready whenever you guys are. I think I have everything I need for now.
So, Frederick, what about you? Sorry.
The only thing I can think about that we might need might be some like healing potions, since I unfortunately used mine yesterday.
Oh yeah, I forgot about healing potions.
Well, do you know if there's any place that sells them around here? I know they did come in handy. With the way you get up close and personal, Ruru, maybe you should get a potion against disease as well.
Well, I'll cast resistance on myself from now on. I didn't think about that until after you started doing it for me yesterday.
Why diseases? What happened?
Instead of actually explaining it, she pulls it out of her bag again because she hasn't gotten rid of it, and shows her this decaying rabid raccoon.
You pull it out, and it's definitely starting to decay now.
Oh, that's so nasty. Why would you keep that in your backpack? Wow, that is so gross. Oh man, I feel like I should make a con save here.
All right, make me a fortitude save.
That's so nasty.
No.
11.
All right. So while he has that thing revealed and nearby you, and since you now are aware of it, and it's completely disgusting, you're unable to attack, cast spells, concentrate on spells, or do anything else that requires concentration.
Oh no.
So
Forever?
while he's carrying this thing, you're nauseated.
Can you please get rid of that? Like, I really don't feel comfortable with that.
I meant to get rid of it yesterday and I forgot. I was really, really tired.
Just bury it somewhere and be done.
I don't know if they'd like me to bury this in the city, so might have to wait till we get outside.
Okay.
And she puts it back in the bag. I might need another bag too. I think this one's kind of no good anymore. Luckily, I don't have anything really in it yet.
You need to burn that bag and the bloody raccoon.
Yeah, that
Frederick
thing
is
bit
just
me.
shaking his head. He's like, "Can we get moving now?"
As long as we can buy potions and a new bag, I'll be ready to go.
So you go ask the Templar where you can get healing potions.
Yeah, that's pretty much
Yeah.
what I was doing. Sorry.
So you go up to him and he's like, you ask him about healing potions. He's like, well, I mean, now we have to go back to the Templar area.
Oh, sorry.
He says it's no problem, just gonna take a while. So it takes you 2 hours carrying that fucking disgusting thing to go back to the Templar area. And he takes you to a small, I wouldn't call it a stand, but that's basically what it is. It's just this small brick building, and you can tell it's just full of potions. And they have this one priest in there, and he seems pretty young, but he's there, and he has this huge box of potions behind him. And even though he's running the place, there are like 5 Templars nearby.
Okay. I go up to
And
the young. Good.
he says, "Hi there, how can I help you?"
Hello, and she waves one of her paws at him. I'm looking for some healing potions and maybe a resist disease.
Well, resist disease is a little out of my pay grade, but I do have these cure light wounds potions.
Okay. How many do you have that you're willing to give up? I have 100 gold I can give.
Well, it's 25 gold per potion, so 6 potions.
Okay. Then she hands him over the money and, oh, wait a minute. Do you have anything I can carry these in? Because I can no longer use this bag. And how much would that?
He says, he kind of looks around because you can tell he's smelling it now. And
Yeah,
he's
he's
like,
super disgusted. She's like pulling a face and like,
okay, so you pull it out.
No. I just
He's
say I
like,
can't use it.
He's like, I don't have any extra bags for you here.
please, just anything.
All right. So at this point, I'm just going to buy the potions and hand them to Neri because I can't put them in my bag. I said, here, put these in your bag.
She's like gagging and like just imagining like she still has the smell, the fucking scent, the looks and like in front of her eyes, and she's like really not feeling well at all. So she puts them in her bag and like then tries to buy potions herself if that is still possible. So
Yeah.
okay, so she'll just put like what it was 25 a potion.
Gold each.
Yeah, she will put like 75 gold on the counter and then try to leave the store as soon as possible.
Okay, so you bought 3 potions.
All right.
And now you have
I'm
9
good now.
potions in total.
What do they heal? How's that work here?
Plus 1.
1d8 plus 1?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll grab 2 of them before following everybody.
Okay. So eventually the Templar, you guys take another 2 hours. Like the afternoon now. And you get through the market area and you walk past the Arcanum and you get through the traveling district, which is basically where all the inns and taverns are, as well as there's merchants here too, but it's mostly just small knickknacks and just husbandry stuff for farmers that live outside. And the Templar takes you to the final gate, and this is where the canal system is actually very more prominent. The canal goes actually through this place multiple times and actually circles around it completely at least once. The water is very calm here, and there's a current that actually goes back out the way you came from. There are many bridges that actually go across, and they're all wide enough to support a couple wagons. Unlike the other places, there's no guards at the gate, but there's a lot of guards walking around, and they're not wearing draconic outfits like the other ones are in the market area. They look pretty normal actually. They're just wearing chainmail armor, and though in this area there's a lot more of them. There's at least groups of 6 on each patrol.
There's a lot of warriors here.
Is there any place where we could get rid of the raccoon?
You could dump it in the water.
That probably would not be a good idea.
Yeah, that would be like, okay, let's infect the whole city with rabies. No.
So I'll just wait till we get across the bridge and dig a hole and bury it.
Well, there's no. So you get to the last outer gate, and this appears to be the very outside of the wall. And this wall is even bigger than the segments inside. It's still 30 feet, but it's also about 30 feet thick. And this one definitely houses soldiers in it. So you can see, like, you look into the one room with the open door, and you see that there's at least 20 guards inside. They're all just playing cards at the moment, but they do all have their weapons on them. And there's 8 guards at the gate. They inspect you and they say, "Well, you seem equipped to deal with whatever comes your way. So, good luck to you out there." He says, "And try not to walk on the magma. It's still really hot."
So is this where we're supposed to find Tribin?
The Templar says, "Well, I don't know about your halfling, but the mine is out there. Just follow the road and continue heading south, and you should find it."
All right.
He hands you the map, and he says, "At least try to use this."
Will do. And I'll give the command to Reardon to just, as we're walking, sniff around and see if he can sniff out Tribin, because I'm assuming he remembers his scent.
All right, have him make a fortitude save.
Oh, against that raccoon thing?
Why do you do this? It's so
Uh,
horrible.
well, to be fair, my Edelin is the one that like ripped its half its head off.
Oh God.
Fortitude save, so that's 17.
Okay, he makes it. He sniffs the air and he just shakes his head because it smells awful, but he's not sickened.
Can you please get rid of this? She just keeps saying that in like 5 to 10 minute intervals.
Okay,
Sorry.
so as soon as you exit the gate, you notice that there's this huge field of magma, and the road is partially covered by it. So you guys have to navigate around it. And even though it's mostly cooled off, it actually it heats up the area a lot, and it's very
God.
hot.
Could I just throw the bag into that?
Yeah, you can throw it on it if you want.
Okay. So I just tossed my basically carrying only thing into it, because all that's in there is the dead carrion thing.
Yeah, so you throw the whole bag on there and it just bursts into flames.
Whoosh.
Oh, that's nasty.
Bye, meanie.
All right. So you finally get rid of that thing, and Nayri is no longer nauseated.
Thank you for. I appreciate you getting rid of that. That was that nice to see or
It was
smell.
pretty interesting, wasn't it?
No, no, that was not interesting. That was horrible. That was terrifying and nasty and very gross. And I'm glad you burned it.
All right. Let's roll some percentile.
Oh no.
Okay. So you guys spend 2 days traveling. You don't encounter anything. You do hear some signs of orcs potentially, but they always seem to depart. Like when you go to confront them, they leave. Eventually, you find the mining camp that they're talking about, and there's a lot of workers just taking their time and relaxing around campfires. Though you do hear shouting from the other side.
Where
You
does it come
see
from?
you
Oh.
see Tibrin standing in the front of the camp. So the camp has wooden walls and spikes, like wooden spears sticking out of them, and they have a bit of blood on them, and it looks like there's some orc heads on it.
And you thought my raccoon was gross.
Well, it was decaying already, and I mean those well, this is I have no explanation for this. It smelled horrible.
Tibrin waves to the four of you. The Templar is not with you, by the way. He stayed at the city.
Nary
Brewer
waves
takes
back.
out the hand axe and waves it at Shervin and goes to take it to him.
So you walk up to him and you offer it to him, and he says, "Nah, you can keep it."
Sweet.
Are you Tribbin the halfling?
The one and only.
Oh, hi. Nice to meet you. My name is Neri. This is Ruru. And this is Amara. And this is Raiden. Right? Raiden? Did I say that right? This is Frederick. And we're here to help with the mine issue.
Well, I hope you're not here to help. This is kind of your job.
Well, no, I said we're here to help. Like, to get rid of the issue.
Right. Well, what do you want to know? The situation's right over there. And
All
he
right.
points over, and you can see the dwarves arguing amongst each other. It seems they've put up some sort of makeshift blockade.
To prevent the mine from continuing their work, the miners.
Yeah. There's about
And
12 dwarves over there, and they seem to be making a scene. You see what looks like their mining leader. You can tell by his differently covered hat. And he's trying to convince him to drop the blockade. Like he's got a lot of people to think of and the families to worry about, and they just don't care.
you know why they put up the blockade?
He says apparently they're just tired of working. Too many hazards, but I don't really know all the details.
Maybe there's a way to make the work a little bit safer, and then everyone can go their way.
He says, well, I don't know how valid their claims are. They did choose a job. From my understanding from the lords around the area, is that they chose this job pays extremely well, like probably more than you're going to make from this adventure. And it's a very dangerous job, obviously. This mine exists close to a orc base, but it's supposedly very well protected, although they do get their occasional invasions from time to time. And he points out the orc skulls again. He says, obviously not well enough, but like they said, they get paid very well to deal with the risks. But I guess the risks are too much for some dwarves, and well, here we are.
Well, I'm sure there's some compromise that can be found so everyone can continue working together again.
Well, I mean,
Maybe we
they
should
already
talk to
get
them.
paid like 15 gold an hour, so, and that's way more than any service in the city for the most part, unless you own a business.
I don't know. I've never worked in a mine. Is there places that are like more dangerous working in a mine, like going deeper?
Well, let me put it this way: a typical miner might get paid 1 to 5 silver. An expert miner would probably get paid 1 gold an hour. These guys are getting paid 15 times that amount.
Why is that so much? Like, why is the standard pay rate so high here?
Well, like I said, probably hard to get workers to come out here. Constant threat of orc attacks, as well as working a
yeah.
mining job. They're basically soldiers and miners at the same time. And of course, who knows what they'll find in the mine? You know, underground monsters.
Do you know who we could talk to that would give us a good idea of what the workers are asking for, and then also, on the other hand, what the owners of the mines are looking for? I'm assuming the owners of the mine still want to go back to business as usual, but we can at least see what the demands of the others are and see if there's any way to compromise or if they're just being dicks about it.
Right.
He shrugs and he says, "Hey, I'm just here to make sure you made the trip." He kind of gestures to the whole camp. He says, "It's your playground from here on out."
Now, you said there's a bunch of them like at a blockade that are making a big old ruckus, right?
Yeah.
Ruru basically stomps up and growls at them all to get them to shut up.
Okay, roll me intimidation.
All right.
Don't think.
Uh-huh.
Can anybody pull up my sheet at the moment? Because like I said, my computer went down. I can't see what my intimidation score is. I think it's a 5, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, intimidate's +5 for you.
Sweet. Here we go. I had a 20, 30.
23.
No, dirty 20.
Oh, dirty 20. So the few of them are intimidated and they kind of silence, but 3 of them step up and they say, "Fuck you too, you piece of dog shite."
Well, hopefully the wyvern's following me too, which is twice as big as I am.
Well, I'm actually I was still talking to the halfling, but I would probably have come after you, and once I see you try to intimidate and see that it's going backwards, I will try to go like approach them as far as it's comfortable for them, basically, and try to calm them down and persuade them, basically, like that it's not that big of a deal, and she didn't mean it.
Roll.
Okay, I'm sorry. Persuasion. Is that it?
Yeah.
Okay. 22.
You try to calm them down, and of course the ones that are intimidated, they step back away from you because they're a little frightened of you. And the ones that weren't quite intimidated but are nervous, they step away from you too. But the other 3 who are just outright pissed now, they're like, "And fuck you too, you piece of dragon scale arse."
But we're just trying to help you. We're not here to insult you. We're trying to find a solution for you.
And the one in the back, he grabs what looks like a piece of donkey dung and he throws it at you.
Okay.
17 to hit.
That's my AC, I believe.
So you try to avoid it, and it just splashes on you, and it smells because it's quite fresh.
Ew.
It's nasty. Oh.
And then he flips you off.
And Mara will just look at Ray Ray and be like, I'm glad we stayed back on this one.
I don't like those people.
It seems that they don't want to have any words with you, at least not anymore.
Well,
So-
she'll try to fucking get rid of the dung that was thrown at her, like at least superficially, and like move backwards.
Ruru
Okay.
decides to throw her hand axe back at the one that threw the dung.
Oh no! Oh no!
Make your
No!
attack.
No!
Nat 20.
All right. What's your max damage?
We're so fucked.
It's a hand axe, so that's 4 plus that one. So 6 is my max damage.
Okay. And I think a hand axe is just a multiplier of 2. So you deal 12 damage. Is unfortunately enough to kill a miner outright.
Oh.
I
So
did not want to kill him.
you throw this hand axe and
no.
at the one who threw dung shit, and it fucking splits his head open, and he just collapses on the ground. The axe embedded in his head, and the other two are like, "What the fuck?" And they pull out their picks, and the miners that were trying to talk them down and convince them to leave, they all back off. The other 5, realizing that you just attacked them, they pull out their picks as well. And I'll have you guys roll initiative.
Oh my god.
What the fuck? We're not supposed to kill the miners. They're like workforce.
My bad.
Yes.
Oh my god.
I didn't mean for it to kill him. I was just trying to basically throw something back at him.
You don't throw an axe. If you had the dead raccoon, you could have thrown that.
You told me to get rid of the raccoon. That would have worked, though.
Oh my god, that is horrible.
All right.
I got
So
a 14.
Neri, you're trying to fucking scrub this stuff off of you. And while you are listening, like you're listening to the talk while you're cleaning the stuff off, and then you just hear this bone cracking and just a body collapsing, and you look up and you see one of the miners is killed. And the miners are like, "What the fuck?" And then they all pulled out their picks. There is 7 miners.
Oh, shit.
Okay, no. Well, I don't have a lot of time to to do this. Let me see here. That is only one target though. I don't have anything then. Well, I was not prepared for this. Really. I wanted to role play out of this. Fuck. So I think, well, since I was not really attacked and I don't know.
I honestly didn't expect it to actually hit him, to be honest.
I guess I'm just gonna use a spell scroll, which is not harmful, which is where is it? A stunning barrier. Oh no, that only counts for 1 round though. Yeah, well, still I'm gonna use it, I guess. And it gives me +1 to AC, and if I'm being attacked, they're stunned. I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm just gonna use this because I really don't know what's gonna go on, and that's my action. And I'm gonna, if I still have a bonus action or anything, I really don't know. I forgot how this works. I will try to calm the situation down. Can I make another persuasion roll?
Sure.
Cool. So let's talk this through. Okay, that's 30.
A 30 total?
Yeah.
Okay. They kind of stop. What do you tell them? What do you tell them?
I tell them, let's not get worked up here. That was an accident that Ruru did not mean for this to happen. Things escalated a bit, and we're really sorry. We can fix this and maybe bring your friend to a cleric and undo this, or something similar. But more fight will not help us resolve the solution. We don't want anyone to die or get hurt. So please don't pick up your weapons, lay them down, and we'll find a peaceful solution together, because this is the only way to go. We don't want to get hurt, and we don't want you to get hurt. Sorry.
They don't believe you.
God damn it.
Mostly because they don't have exactly 500 gold to raise their now dead friends.
Well, we can provide that.
You don't have. I don't think there's 500 gold between all of you.
How much gold do you guys have?
I have 80.
I might have 50 left.
Well, Frederick.
He has 49.
Nope, that's not gonna work. Well, I tried, okay? I tried. Can't.
All right. Frederick is gonna pull out his lucerne. He's gonna walk up beside Ruru, and he's gonna hold an attack action, but he's not going to move towards them. Amara. So this fight has suddenly broken out.
Yeah, and I'm seeing this situation. I'm gonna send out Ray Ray, and I'm gonna tell Ray Ray to pretend to rip Ruru's throat out. So like I want him to jump on Ruru and just pretend that he's doing that and be like, she's possessed. She's possessed. Oh my god. Don't worry, I'll take her out. I'll fix this for you. And I'll like run up and I'll pour the potion of fear and pretend like it's like a potion of exorcism of some sort and be like, banish this evil from within you. Like, just putting on a show.
Have your pet do a bluff check, and then roll a sense motive.
Alrighty.
Bluff.
All right. Sense motive is one of my specialties, right? Yes.
Okay. It's just a straight 13 for me.
He doesn't really know how to pretend to rip somebody's throat out. He kind of jumps on his neck and puts his face to his neck and just nuzzles her a lot, but not really sure where to go from there without actually biting him.
And if I notice it's not convincing enough, I'll be like, it's okay, just bite him a little. Bite her a little.
So
a little bit of blood.
For my sense motive, I got a 15.
Okay. There we go. So, well, one's dead. So they all, for the most part, they'll all believe you, but except for the two miners that have been pretty aware of this whole thing this whole time. They're like, the miners are like, holy shit, it's a demon, and the other two's like, no, they're fucking bullshitting us again. So the deception didn't really work.
Damn it.
Well, you can roll your own bluff if you want.
Good try though.
They don't really believe that the Riordan is attacking.
Okay, well, my bluff was, because I have decent bluff, 18.
Okay, so it's the same thing. The two of them tell them that this is bullshit. It's all just a ploy to get out of the fight. So the 7 of them are going to run towards Ruru. And, well, and Frederick and Raodon, now that they're kind of there now. And I have to roll a lot of attacks of opportunities from Frederick. So he's going to get his 1 attack. And he's got a plus 8 to attacks. So I'm hits. He crits 1. So he basically has to roll 1 to miss with their current armor, which is none. And he hits them all. And how much damage does he do? Too much. So they all run towards the 3 of you, and he just starts smashing them with his lucerne as they get too close to him, and just provoking an onslaught of attacks from him. And they don't even get close enough. They run to about 5 feet to him, and they just get bashed over the head, or hit with the side of the pole arm. They all just eventually, in just this flash and flurry of blows, they all go down and are unconscious.
Okay.
So the combat is over now.
Okay.
Ruru sticks her tongue out and goes,
What the fuck, Ruru? We weren't supposed to kill anybody.
That was so inappropriate.
Frederick just slings the polearm over his shoulder and he says, "Well, those 7 are still alive."
Oh no, we're not mad at you, Frederick. It's all on Ruru for axing somebody in the face. Trubin, why did you not take your axe back from her?
He says, "How the hell was I supposed to know she was gonna throw it and murder somebody?"
Well, she's apparently a rabid dog.
Oh,
Well, now let's not get ahead of ourselves. Mistakes happen. That was very unfortunate. But the mine still doesn't block. So
the mining leader, he's like, "Holy shit!" And he's checking all of them, and he's like, "Oh, these ones are still alive. Get them to the medicine tent." And a bunch of workers finally they get up from the campfire, obviously attracted to the sound of really one-sided combat. And they go and pull their bodies over and start, and they have little apothecaries that are taking care of them and giving them medicine. Though the one with the axe in his head, they carry him over, but it's obvious that he's dead, and they start preparing his body to be buried. And the mining leader is just like, "Well, that was fast." I'll say that. He's looking at. He says, "Get that blockade out of the way now, and let's get back to work."
Somebody died. Business as usual. Let's get back.
Ruru's ears are back, like she did something bad, and her head's down.
The mining leader just scratches the back of his head, and he's like, "Well, thanks for dealing with that. At least all the other ones get to live. I'll have to fire them, obviously, and send a report to my lord, but was hoping that we didn't have to kill any of them."
I didn't mean to, I swear.
And so, still chaotic neutral there, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're feeling really bad about it.
Yeah.
What's your Did you say you served the goddess?
Yeah, I have served a goddess of travel, the Desna, but I call her the Mother Moon. That's one of her nicknames.
All right, and she good?
I do believe so. I don't remember. I can't pull anything up right now to look.
Well, if she's any good, you'll feel like this stinging pain in your heart.
Mm,
Like you've seriously messed up.
yeah, I whimper a little.
So you definitely know that your goddess is displeased with you. And the miner says, "Well, I guess I should pay you, huh?"
You don't have to pay me.
He says, "Well, a service done is a service done. If you whatever you do with the gold is up to you." And he goes over and he says, I wasn't really. I was told that there'd only be two of you, the three of you. So I only have that amount for you." He says, "What? So you?" He says, he names Nairi, Ruruguru, Ruruguru, and Frederick, and he says, "Why don't you three, come with me?"
All right.
And you kind of walk off with him, and
We'll be back, Amara.
I'll try not to kill anybody while you're gone. Oh wait,
Well,
that's Ruru.
I'm gonna try to keep an eye out for her, and she's still trying to get rid of the dung on her body.
okay. So the mining leader takes you to this tent, and he says, "Just wait out here." And he goes inside and he pulls out this fairly sizable chest, and he says, "Go on, open it."
I'll let Frederick open
I
it.
look, yeah.
Okay, so Frederick opens it, and inside there is 400 gold coins, 200 silver, and 50 copper. There is a potion of cure moderate wounds, and and he pulls out the cure moderate wounds potion and he gives it to Ruru Guru. He says, "I was specifically."
Hold on one second. Please stop. Sorry about that. Say what?
So he gives you the cure moderate wounds potion.
Okay. Thank you.
He says, I know how stressful it can be to deal with some things, so that's for you."
Thank
And
you.
he says the rest of the gold is for all of you. And he of course offers you the chest. The chest is not huge, but it is kind of hefty. Though if you were for some reason lacking a backpack, you could carry it.
Okay. Um, Ruru asked the guy why the or what the workers were trying to not, or why they were not wanting to work.
He says, it's just some miners blow a fuse, you know. Between the invasions and the monsters inside the mine and the collapses in the tunnels, some people just had to have enough, you know. And some people are reasonable enough to say, "Well, I'm going home," and you know, they request to be laid off work, and that's respectable. But I guess they just couldn't allow anyone else to do the work either. So perhaps they thought they were being noble about it. But like I was trying to tell them, I have many other dwarves who are thinking about their families, and they need the work to do. and I can't pay them for doing nothing. So it was a very big obstruction.
So how bad are the monsters down there?
He says it can get pretty bad. There was at one time about 3 years ago, there was actually clockwork golems walking around down there, and
Ooh.
very magical forces. But we had hired some adventurers to go in there, and they found that there was some sort of magical device and golem that was shifting the mountain around, constantly making this sort of labyrinth with the very tunnels that we made. And so after they defeated it, the mine returned to normal. And although we still encounter golems from time to time, elementals have been very angry about the disturbance from the device. So
Hmm.
we end up having to hire out adventurers from time to time who are specialized in dealing with earthen creatures. So it's been hurting the miner's job for quite some time. But it's also quite lucrative, as some of us have taken up skinning and arcane magic, and we've been selling the cores of the earth elementals and the boulettes and such, and melting the clockwork strange metal into picks, and it's been very lucrative in that regard too. So it's been an up and down business, but it's a business.
Oh. And how often are you guys being raided by these orcs?
He says it's more of a, I would say it's bi-weekly appearance. So we do have scouts planted around the camp nearly constantly, rotation and everything. Though the forces that do come through, they're very trivial. They just attempt to burn down the wall in the camps at night, and of course we've specially planned for that, and we have a well nearby that we can use to put out the fires. And of course, the numbers are so small that they just can't compete with our numbers, and especially with well-trained adventurers at our side, meant to slay elementals and boulettes of all things. The the orcs are usually dealt with pretty cleanly. It's still relatively safe. I've never had anyone die to orc attacks. Let's put it that way.
Okay. Brewer looks to Neri and goes, "Do you think we should investigate or talk to the ones that we knocked out when they come to?"
I think we've done enough. I don't think that. I mean, our objective was to clear the mine and make work possible again, which is what's possible now, no matter the circumstances right now. And she's gonna ask the person that guided them there. Is that no? That's not the halfling. That's like another person. No, the lead miner, right?
Yeah, the lead miner.
She's gonna ask him. Is there anything you desire us to take care of? I'm sorry about how that turned out just now. Is there anything else that we could do for you?
He shakes his head. He says, I'm gonna use some magic to tell the family about the man's death. But as far as the clearing the path, we have adventurers that are able to deal with the monsters. So if there are monsters out there, they will protect the mine. But you got rid of our minor minor problem.
That was such a bad pun.
He says, "My bad." Anyways, you are free to go. Your deed is done.
Can I give my share of the gold to the miner's family?
He says, "Well, I can't exactly give them the gold. You can go meet with them if you like."
She looks at Neri and her puppy eyes go basically going, "Can we do that?"
Can I make like an insight check or something if I think that's a good idea? Because I think that is, I don't know.
Roll me a sense motive at -5. because you've never in your plane that you hail from, you don't encounter dwarves.
9.
I mean, what could go wrong?
Really?
Well, you don't know dwarves very well.
Okay. Well,
You
mine
suspect that they would be angry, but I mean, who can say no
mine
to gold?
yeah, -5 is like giving me a -1 penalty on the roll overall. So that's dumb. Okay, so she's gonna say, I don't know. Where I mean, it probably might be nice to at least see a face and be able to blame someone, I guess. I don't know, or be able to excuse yourself for that, but I think they're gonna be mad, but also, isn't that the least you could do? I'm not quite sure.
Yeah, I think I need to go and apologize, and I think for compensation for killing their provider, I need to give them my money.
All right. So while you guys are having this discussion, Amara, you see that the blockade is being torn down, and there it's not like being ripped apart. It is being carefully removed, as lumber is pretty important around here. But eventually, they get it moved out of the way, and you notice this strange glimmer coming from the tunnel. And looking into it, you see that there's that gold encrusted chest.
I will try to stay out of the workers' way as best I can, but try to make my way over to that.
So you walk over to it, and inside you are examining it, and it's exactly like the summoner said it would look like, and
Right.
well demonstrated.
I will open it up and reach inside.
So you open it up, and you just see that nothing obvious is in it at first, and you see that space, paint-like space that he used to open the rift. But when you open it and look inside and put your hand in there, you can see that the paint just kind of turns into gold, and you can see that it also becomes one scroll and a potion. You read it over, and it's a scroll of bark skin, as well as the potion seems to be a potion of we'll say it's a potion of minor dragon's breath, and basically
That's
it will
pretty
shoot
cool.
out a level 2 burning hands.
Yeah, cool.
There is 100 gold in there, as well as 50 silver pieces.
And I will take everything out and start slowly putting it in my bag, and until the chest is empty.
As soon as you put the last object in your bag, the chest slowly closes on its own, and it becomes this space paint that will just be lazily called from now on, I guess. And it will just it will consume the fancy chest, and then it will just kind of drip into the ground and just melt away. And then soon enough, there's no sign that it was even there. A miner was actually watching you the whole time, and he's like, are you all right, lass?
Yeah, I dropped something on the ground over here, and I was just picking it up.
He's like, all right. And he just scratches his head and walks away. And I'll just let you know that to him, it looks like you were putting things in your pocket, but there was nothing in front of you. So he's just like, the fuck?
Well, there are worse things they can think of me than that I'm crazy. They could think I'm a murderer.
Good point.
All right, so Tibrin is, of course, waiting for you guys outside the front of the camp. And he says, well, Sergeant's not going to like that, but I have to be honest with him.
Well, I know I got a little bit of gold from this venture. I don't know about you guys. Maybe if we put together our funds, we could pay for or resurrect for this this poor miner.
How much is that?
It's supposedly it's around 500 gold. I'd have to
Well,
actually-
I'm willing to give my gold. I'm not really bound to my gold. It would have been nice to have like some for the license, but I guess I can wait. I have in total 230 gold that I can give.
Never mind. That's not going to be possible.
Why not?
Oh, never mind. Yeah. Okay, so it is possible. You just have to get there in a certain time frame. But it. Oh shit! Never mind. It's way more expensive than it is in 5e. Jesus.
How much
It's
is it?
5,000. It's 5,000 gold to pay for his revival.
Yeah.
Wow.
No can do. No, sir. Sorry. Well, at least we can pay for a good funeral then. Well, do they do funerals?
Tibrin says probably.
Well, I'd be willing to partake and pay for parts of the funeral. And also, Ruru asked to go and see the family to excuse herself for this very unfortunate event. So,
Tibrin like just rubs his head and he says, "I don't think that's a good idea." Then I mean, it's best that you should probably just head back.
Will they accept my gold as an apology?
Maybe just send it anonymously.
No. If dwarves have too much pride to receive help like that.
Oh.
And if you show up face to face, I think they're more likely to attack you than actually listen to you.
oh, no. We don't want that. No.
Ruru's now going to be called Ruru the Dwarf Killer.
Rip.
Well, it's also got a good side on it, Ruru. Now you know that you made a mistake and you have the opportunity to learn from the mistake. So in future, you're not going to do this again, right?
Right.
Right.
All right. So, let me see if I can. Oh. There we go. So, you guys gain. Where's my calculator? Each of you gains 400 experience, as well as another 100 experience for going through Brimstone. So 500 experience.
Cool.
And you guys return to Brimstone. Do you just head back to the Adventurers Nexus, or is there other things that you want to do in Brimstone? The Templar is obviously there waiting for you, and he waves you down, and he'll take you wherever you need to go.
The only thing I need is a bag to replace the one that I threw in the magma, but other than that, that's it.
Okay, he takes you to go buy a standard backpack.
Okay.
Which not sure. Oh, there it is. Typical one is not really sure because all the ones in here are actually like really expensive because they're all specialized. I'll just say it's 5 silver.
All right. I give over and get my pack and ask Neri for some of the potions I bought earlier.
Okay. So
Otherwise, I'm ready to go back.
okay. So you head back through the gate.
Yeah.
Yeah, Amara's making sure to keep Frederick and Neri in between her and Ruru. She's super upset with Ruru because I don't know about Frederick, but I think Amara is probably the only one with a good alignment.
I don't know. Do you want a sense for that sort of thing?
I can, yeah.
Okay. Roll me a sense motive and an arcana.
Those are actually decent rolls. What's Arcana in this one? Is there like an actual Arcana one?
Or spellcraft.
Spellcraft. Okay. So
that one makes more sense to me.
Yeah. My sense motive is a -1, so it would be 13, and then my Arcana or spellcraft would be a 23.
Okay, so so everyone can you two can give yourselves a don't go into detail, but just a base description of how your characters are feeling about the recent situation.
Well, Neri is feeling like she has mixed feelings. Like she is feeling bad for the miner, and she's also feeling bad for Ruru because she sees it as an accident. Like she believes that Ruru really actually didn't mean to do that, and that was just like a mistake that a kid would make, basically, like when it destroys something and it really didn't mean to do that in the first place. So, and it's irreversible. So she kind of feels bad for that.
Too far already.
Okay, sorry. That's it.
So you're sensing her aura, and her energy seems a little down and out. Like she's thinking about what just happened a couple days ago. Ruru?
Ruru's feeling very upset.
Okay, so her energy is a little erratic at the moment. Also, it feels kind of down, but also a little unstable. Fredericks, however, he seems to not really mind. Like he was actually you think it's hard to read him because he's actually really calm about the whole thing. But you can, since he's not actually a caster of any type, you kind of sense for his energy, and you don't really get much from him.
Yeah, well, Amara's just really she's not happy with the way the situation worked out. It feels like she's profiting off of a man's death and stuff like that. As much as she jokes around and she played around with the troll and stuff like that, she didn't have to watch anybody die for that. And this just sort of like really hit her hard, like, and she's probably going to be thinking about the way she acts and the way her companions act for the next little while.
Okay. So, yeah, so you guys are heading through the traveling district when you guys are crossing one of the bridges when you see what looks like 3 well-armed dwarves standing on the middle of the road. The guards nearby are obviously like nearby is kind of a weird word because they're about 200 feet away and like watching them from the wall on top of the wall. But there's 3 fairly well-armed warriors standing, dwarven warriors. And when you guys come around across the bridge, they say, they look over to you and they say, "Ah, there they are."
Uh-oh.
Can we help you?
Oh,
This is so awkward. I'm so sorry.
let's take a break and we'll get into this.
Oh, no.
Be back fairly quickly.
I can't. Oh no.
A simple mining track gone wrong.
Maybe we can like diplomat ourselves out of this.
Good luck with that.
Well, I don't want anyone else to die. What the hell?
I so did not expect to be able to kill somebody with a freaking hand axe on the one throw.
I think they were just like commoners basically, and they don't have a lot of HP.
Well, with my luck with the rolls I've had for lately, I was expecting it to hit like handle first on the forehead.
You can also always announce it. You can say like, okay, I'm gonna aim to miss. You can say I'm gonna aim that I miss like his head barely, so that he takes the intimidation. You know.
Yeah. I didn't know that, but I know some of that, but I didn't know that you could do it to miss. I knew you could do like
Yeah.
You're picking where you want to hit.
Yeah, you can announce that you will miss. Like you can announce that you will aim for like close to his head, but not really, and then. Yeah,
just
if you
roll a nat 1 on that.
Yeah, exactly. If you roll a nat 1, you're basically fucked because that hit. But you kind of reverse the chances, you know, instead of like actually rolling a straight roll and hoping for a miss.
Yeah, I was basically just throwing something back. It was the only thing I had in my hand at the moment.
Yeah.
So luckily, it wasn't. Well, wouldn't mattered because I
You
killed.
could have grabbed a rock. I'm sure if it's near a mine, there must be or something.
Yeah.
Lumber.
Yeah. Improvised weapons. Yeah, that's a bummer. I really did not expect that. I'm like, oh shit. Oh shit. I mean, that is why I did not take any like offensive action. And afterwards I'm like, oh fuck, what do we do? And then Frederick took them all out, like just with his fucking attacks of opportunity.
The power of an elite.
I was just trying to intimidate him into stop doing their crap, seeing if that was going to work. And I don't know.
You intimidated them, all right?
Yeah, the wrong way.
Well,
I feel like just walking up to somebody and trying to intimidate them is not always the best way to go. No. Maybe like talk to them first, and then when that doesn't work, be like, hey, shut the fuck up.
That's what I tried. Like I had like a 30 on persuasion. They're like, fuck you, bitch. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So that doesn't work. We need to find another solution. Ah, you killed him.
Yeah.
Yeah, when you try to engage against people that are already hostile to you and persuade them to not fight you, that's pretty much impossible.
Yeah, still, I tried. That's like the way she is. Like, they're there. Can we not just talk this over?
All right. So these three heavily armored and heavily equipped dwarves, they pull out their weapons, which is a sword and well, not sword, a shield and a dwarven battle axe. And they say, "You killed our father, and now we're gonna make you pay in kind."
No.
Is this really necessary? I mean, can we not talk about this and find
Well-
another way?
Where was talking when you killed him?
We did talk and try, and then I got like stung flung over into my face.
He
So I
says,
tried.
"Oh, so you got a little shite on you and you killed him."
No,
Wow.
no, that was an accident.
All right, they start walking towards you now. And they seem completely intent on doing this. So, if you
Really?
think you're so much better than us, why don't you get whoever killed him? I'll fight you. And I'll kill you here and now. I don't care about the consequences.
We don't want that. Can we not just kill any of us and come to a peaceful resolution? Maybe arrange a nice funeral. I don't know.
He shakes his head and he says, "The only thing that will satisfy me now is blood." Says, "Time to die, you monsters." And roll initiative.
Well, at least I'm glad it's not just fucking Ruru versus three dwarves.
Well, he was gonna duel.
I know. That's why I said, like, can we please not like kill each other off?
Mm.
I got a 19.
Okay, I'll do the list.
Well, what did you get, Ruru?
19.
Okay, Mara and Raiden, you two, obviously they have pulled out their weapons. And although they are completely intent with fighting, they don't seem completely ready to commit to it.
Amara, yeah.
Though it's obvious that their frustration is well grounded and they do plan on fighting you, they obviously they have small reluctance to do so.
Amara will, like, she's not gonna take out any of her weapons or anything, and Ray Ray's just gonna stay pressed against her side, and she's gonna look at the three dwarves and say, "Look, what happened was completely wrong. Absolutely none of us are saying anything different. There is no way that it should have come to blows like that. But killing us or killing Ruru because of that is only going to invite more killing. If you kill Ruru, then, you know, what if there's retribution for that? And then you end up losing another one. And so you come back against those killers. Killing only begets more killing. Yes, there should be punishment. There should be reparations made, but killing is not the way to do it. It only begets more."
Okay, roll diplomacy.
Don't fuck me, dice. All right, diplomacy. This might be decent for me. Diplomacy. All right, so I got a dirty 20.
Nice.
He says, "God damn it, dog." So
When did he get a dog?
yeah, there's a small doggo there now. So the one dwarf, they're all kind of thinking about it, and the other two. Actually, I gotta roll for them all. Okay, so the one is like, I hate to admit it, but she's right. And the other two are like, why would you say that? They killed our father. And he's like, yeah, but I don't want to get in trouble for the law just for something that's just going to cause us trouble in the end. And they're like, then get out of here. We'll kick your arse later. And that dwarf kind of sheaths his weapons and walks away. Like, he doesn't walk like and walks entirely away. He just stands on the side of the road. The other two, the other one doesn't really say anything. He seems to be more just following the lead of the other one. But the one that's been leading this talk so far, he shakes his head and he says, "Then that's a price that you and I shall pay."
Amara's still not going to draw any weapons. She's just going to be sort of hanging back and not participating.
All right. Is Raiden going to do anything?
He's sticking very close by my side. Essentially, if somebody does come up to me or tries to attack me, he'll defend me, but he's not going to go on the offensive.
Okay, so he just jumps in front of you and holds his attack.
Yeah.
Ruru.
Okay. I take out my. Oh no, hold on. I cast Bless. The Bless is only one person, or is it multiple people?
It's an area. It affects
Okay.
everyone. Well, everyone that you want.
Yeah, I cast Bless on our group.
Okay. So everyone has a +1 to an additional +1 to attack and +1 to fear saving throws.
Okay. And at this point, I want to hold my attack because I don't want to attack them unless they actually attack me.
Okay. And that's with your star knife?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I don't have a hand axe anymore. That's
What, you
still
mean you
in the
didn't
guy's head.
retrieve it?
No, didn't pull it out of his head.
All right. Mary.
She's gonna walk up in front of the group, like in front of our group, and she's gonna hold her action, if that is possible in Pathfinder. She's gonna hold the action to cast a spell, cast a spell from a spell scroll. Can I do that?
Yeah.
Do I have to announce which it is?
Yes.
Okay, so that would be color spray.
Okay.
And once they come 15 feet or closer, and can I combine conditions, like when they're 15 feet or closer and still don't like want to engage in combat with us? Can I do that?
Yeah.
Okay. So, and she's gonna say, please don't do this. We don't want to hurt you, and you don't want to hurt us. Like like she said, like it's not gonna bring back the dead. We don't want to go any further from here. Please. This is my last warning. Or for our group, our warning. Can we not solve this any other way? And
They
that
just
is,
look at each other. No.
well, that's well, I hold my action until said conditions.
All right. Frederick's gonna say, you guys get in way more trouble than I thought you would. Perfect. And he walks forward beside Neri and he pulls out his lucerne. And he holds his action. What the fuck? Do you have color spray open?
Yeah.
Okay. They run towards you with their weapons drawn, obviously, and getting ready to attack you. There's no save on it.
Let me see. Will negates saving throw. Will, and I'm assuming since this is a first level spell, that's 18. I think.
Okay. They get within 15 feet of you, and then they okay. Wow. Roll me 1d4.
One.
Okay. So they run up towards you, and you shoot out the color spray, and it bathes over them, and they're like, ah! And they are standing around, and you see that they're holding their eyes, and obviously, and quite disoriented.
All right.
They
Both
are
of them?
now, they're both blinded and stunned for 1 round.
And she's going to say, I'm really sorry that I have to do this. And she kind of motions like, or makes like the over the shoulder motion for everyone else to pass by because I don't know. That is like her way to avoid bloodshed, really. So that's it.
Okay, Amara, they're blinded and stunned, and they're 15 feet away from everyone.
All right. What is the guy on the side doing? Is he doing anything?
No, he seems obviously a little disgruntled, but he seems calm and not wanting to fight.
Okay. I will just. I want to help them, but I know that they're dwarves and they won't accept it. So Amara and Raiden will just start walking to the gate.
Yeah, that's what I intended, so we can just avoid the fight.
Yeah.
Okay,
And-
so the party moves 30 feet around them, and then they're stunned for 1 round. So you guys continue moving around them.
Yeah, probably with a dash.
Yeah.
Okay. So you guys start running. And once their stun wears off, they pull out heavy crossbows and they say, "We're not done with you yet." And the closest person to them is Amara. So they move forward their 25 feet and they shoot crossbows at you.
Okay.
I tried.
Let me check the crit range on this thing.
Oh shit.
It's usually 1920 for the crossbows, but I don't know about the heavies.
Yeah, that's just what I'm checking.
Goddamn, I should have rolled a fucking 2 or 3 on the D4.
Yep. So you take 24 points of damage from the one.
Okay. I'm dead.
Well, so you get shot in the back and you just go lifeless.
Yep.
And Raodon just disperses into the aether.
Yep.
You guys just hear this loud thud behind you. And you turn around and you see that Amara is laying on the ground, lifeless. She's not moving.
Does this
You
work
can.
like in 5e, where you can give someone a potion and they come back?
No,
I'm dead. I'm dead.
dead.
I'm not unconscious.
What?
She's dead. She's not moving. You don't even see her breathing.
Yeah, I have 12 hit points and I just took 24.
So you just turn around and you just see this bolt in her back and her head is cracked open from hitting the ground so hard. Actually, there might be another bolt. What's your AC?
Let me double check. My AC is 15.
Okay, so there's actually 2 bolts in her back, but one is hitting like right in her spine.
All right. I skid to a halt, turn and see that happens, and I'm now furious.
Okay.
About how far away are we now?
Since you ran, I'm assuming everyone's movement is 30 feet.
Yeah.
So you're 120 feet, or you're 95 feet away from them.
Okay. Not sure what to do.
Well, we can't leave her there.
No. I go, how big is she?
Mara?
Yeah.
She's a medium creature. I don't know her precise weight.
Okay.
She's pretty light. She's only like 96 pounds.
I think I've got a 14 strength. Can I lift her?
Yeah.
Okay. So I run back to her, pick her up, and kind of bring her back to the group real quick.
Well, she's standing right behind you, so that's easily
okay.
done.
All right, then. Instead of that, first I look to Neri and go, do we pick her up and try and run again, or do we finish this off?
She will just, I don't know, like that just brings more death. I don't know, can we not just retreat? And she looks to Frederick. What do you say?
Frederick says, I don't particularly enjoy running from a fight.
Okay.
Fair enough then.
So, Neri, what do you do?
Oh, is it my turn?
Well, he used his action to pick her up, so unless he's wants to run around or something.
Okay, so well, I am going to can I seek partly cover, because those crossbows, like there's nothing I can do against that.
You can run inside a building if you want.
Not like stand behind a corner. Do I have to like go inside the building?
Okay, they are.
You can run behind a building, yeah, if you want.
Yeah, I would like to do that and seek cover, because they're too far at the moment, like 95 feet, you said, right? Before I can actually do anything. So what I'm gonna do is, well, I'm gonna run behind the corner and I'm gonna cast Mage Armor. Oh, is the usage of spell scrolls, does that draw from my spell points that I can
No.
use a day? Okay, so I'm gonna cast Mage Armor on myself and wait until they approach further, because that's basically all I can do.
It was good for about
That's my
Okay.
turn.
no leak, and then all of a sudden it started leaking again, and it was leaking pretty almost as bad as it was this last time.
I'm just gonna mute you, Lesbian. Or not. I guess I can't do that apparently. So,
Right, thank you.
Frederick is actually just gonna run back to them. And that takes up his whole turn. So he's now standing 10 feet away from them. The dwarfs, they drop their crossbows and they walk up to him and attack him. And they both miss. They just straight up miss. Like they don't even come close to hitting him. Actually, I forgot they provoke attacks from him, from having to move from 10 feet to 5 feet. So he's going to attack them both. He's going to miss one but hit the other. He's going to trip one onto the ground and deal, I think it's a D12. Yep. Where did I put those? There they are. And he's going to deal max damage to one of them and knock him on his ass. And you can just hear this loud crack as he deals 19 damage to one of them. And he falls on his back and he's like, "Oh, my leg." And he gets up and he gets up and tries to move in closer again to try to actually hit him. But Frederick just ends up hitting him again. And takes another, except this time he takes a blow to the arm and just flops over unconscious. Yes, that's the case. At least as far as you know.
Okay.
So the other one misses him, even though he's now fighting for his now unconscious friend. Amara is dead. Ruru, your turn. So you see Neri take cover and cast Mage Armor, and you see Frederick go up to engage with the dwarves, and he's knocked one of them unconscious.
Okay.
You're still holding Amara.
And what does resistance do again?
It gives you +1 to your next saving throw.
Okay. But is that only on me, or can I cast it on somebody else?
I think you can cast it on somebody else,
Okay.
but I think you have to touch them.
Okay. Would any type, or I know I'm not used to this yet. That's why I'm asking. You gave me a cure moderate wounds, correct?
Yes.
Would that help, or help her at all, or no? Because she's dead.
She's dead. She can't benefit from healing.
Okay. I wasn't quite sure. And stabilize ain't gonna help her either.
How much health do you have, Amara?
Yes,
I had 12, and you hit me for 24, so that would have immediately done twice my health. I don't know.
Okay.
That kills me outright in D&D. I don't know if it does in Pathfinder.
Yeah, it still does.
Yeah, I figured.
You said 11?
12.
12,
12?
and it did 24 damage with the crit.
Actually, hold on. You still might be alive. Let
Ooh.
me just check to see what the unconscious range is on Pathfinder. Because I don't think it's like 3.5 where it's just 10 and then plus your level. I think it might be your constitution constitution score.
I think it is your con score, but I don't know. But I also got hit by the second bolt too, so I don't know if that would have finished me off.
Let me roll for that. Yeah, you can have your negative hit points up to your Constitution modifier.
Okay,
So-
my constitution is 16, so my modifier is +3.
It's your Constitution score, so your negative hit points is 16.
Okay.
So unless he rolls really bad, so 12.
You should have -4 left over, right?
Yeah, no. The bolt is a pretty weak hit, but it's still enough to kill you with 5 damage.
Yeah.
Oh.
I was
So
hoping.
the cure moderate wounds potion won't do anything.
Okay. All right.
You can give it to her if you want, and it will heal the body, but she'll still be dead.
Yeah, no, there's no point in using that right this moment then. Okay. For right this moment, considering he's up there, I'm trying to think if I have any other spells that I can use. Resist, stabilize, protect. Nope. Okay. I set her back down more along, kind of like out of the way, and I make my way up towards them to be as close as I can to see.
Okay.
Can you still attack, or is putting her down an action move?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Dropping her is a free action, but putting her down is a action.
Well, she is already technically dead.
No, don't do it. No. You're not dropping your dead friend on the ground like a fucking sack of potatoes. No.
Okay, I won't do that. I will actually set her down gently.
Okay.
And do I have a bonus movement move still?
Good chat.
You can move. You're 30 feet.
All right. And I'll do that. I'll go up to 30 feet closer to them.
Okay. Neri.
I will look out of the corner and I will move closer to them too, like 30 feet, my movement.
Okay.
So I should be at 65 or something distance, correct?
Yeah.
And I'm going to use my spell scroll of magic missile that I bought. I'm so glad I bought those spell scrolls. My spells are fucking useless. And I'm going to magic missile the guy that's still standing. So,
Okay.
I
It
know.
does 1d4 plus 1.
Yeah, so 3 force damage.
Okay,
I know
so
it's not much.
this missile just kind of smacks into him, and he's like, "Ah, what the?" And he just shakes his head. It looked more uncomfortable than it was painful to him.
I know. I can't really do a lot. That's my turn.
All right. Frederick is going to do a 5-step back and attack him. And hits him. Using improved trip, the dwarf falls on the ground and takes 10 points of damage as he falls over. The follow-up strike hits. Oops. And he takes another 17 points of damage, and he does a 5-step back to avoid him. So he's 10 feet away from the dwarf now. The dwarf is looking pretty badly injured after taking 27 points of damage, and he gets up and he tries to run away, provoking another attack, and gets hit.
Don't do it. No.
And Frederick easily just hits him in the ankle and causes him to fall over, and he hits his head and goes unconscious.
So glad we brought Frederick.
The Templar is catching up to you guys. He's like, "What the hell is going on over here?" And some guards are following him. And he catches up with you guys, and he looks over the two dwarves, and he's like, "Oh, thank God they're still alive." Then he
They
looks
killed our
over.
friend.
I was getting to that. They look over everything, and they're like, "Where's your one friend?" And they look past you, and they see you. They're like, "Holy shit!" And they run over and investigate her body. And
Sure, right?
the Templar looks up to you and he's like, no, he has a hard time saying it. He says she's dead.
Ruru house.
Is there
No.
nothing we can do? Like, can we not bring her back by any magical means or anything? She can't be.
He says,
She was just
well,
alive just 5 minutes ago.
he scratches the back of his head and he says, well, I can take her to the temple, but
Can we do that, please?
Well, I'll have to sub in your friend Tibrin, but I will have to discuss the matter with him. And just to kind of break things down quickly, the guards interrogate you on the site and tell you what happened, and you explain the whole thing to them. And the dwarf explains what happened. And so the two dwarves that are unconscious are arrested. They don't arrest the other dwarf who stepped aside. And they are, of course, fined heavily for murder and intention to kill and murder and assault and stuff like that. So they're going to prison for a long time. As for Amara, she gets taken back to one of the cathedrals, and Tibrin, of course, comes through the gateway because he gets summoned back to the adventurers hall. And so you guys are kind of just waiting outside the room that she's dead in. And you can see Tibrin enters the temple, and the Templar that is responsible for you, he starts talking with him, and you see Tibrin is legitimately surprised. He's like, holy shit. You can hear his voice echoing through the temple. He's like, yeah, he's like, yeah. And he's like, the sergeant's not going to be happy with that. And so he's like, yeah. He approaches you two, and he says, I'll deal with Mara. It's best that you three head back.
Is there anything you can do for her?
Yeah, but you might want to not be here for the initial bit. I'm sure you'll see her soon, so don't worry about it. She'll be back.
That's good. That's good. Thank you, Tibrin. I would like to give you a token of my thanks for that. But I don't have anything. So do you take gold? Here, just take this.
No, I'm not taking anything from you. Just get out of here.
Okay.
You're gonna need all the help you can get when you get back to Sergeant Pennyworth and explain to him what happened.
Oh, that doesn't make me feel good at all. Oh, God.
He says it doesn't make me feel good either. So, just go through the gate, and I'll I'll have to explain to him what happened later.
You promise she'll be all right?
I can promise you she'll be alive.
That's fair enough. That's a good start. Thank you, Tibrin, and have a good day or work or whatever, and she'll leave.
Okay. So you guys head through the gate, and Sergeant Pennyworth isn't there waiting for you like he usually is. So you guys start heading towards the Adventurers Hall. Amara, you are kind of, when you got shot last, you collapse on the ground, and as soon as you kind of land and impact the ground, and you hear, the last thing you really remember is you hitting your head on the stone on the ground. You suddenly just, it's not like a gentle shove. It feels very abrupt as you kind of just are ejected out of your own body, and you're looking around, and it actually takes you a moment to identify that, wait, that's me. And then you're just kind of floating up towards the sky. And as you are kind of floating toward, just constantly upwards into the air, you realize your knowledge of the planes really helps you identify what just happened. And you're like, I'm really dead. I'm dying. And you kind of just start drifting through the clouds, and you find yourself floating through the astral sea as you're looking up and around, and you see what looks like dozens of people around you, that as well as that one dwarf nearby. He's kind of drifting along nearby you. And he's just scratching his head. He's like, and you can hear him like just loudly proclaiming, like, "Where am I? What's going on?" And you see that he's just kind of drifting further and further away, and you can still hear him quite clearly.
If I can, I would shout out to him,
Mhm.
and I would just say, "I'm so sorry. You've passed. We've both passed."
He then looks over to you, and he's like realizing what's happened. Like he's like, "I remember now. Oh gods, this isn't how I wanted to die." And he just starts drifting further away from you, and his voice is slowly becoming incomprehensible as he's now drifting further above you. So as you are kind of just floating there and you're seeing all these other people just kind of drifting past, you do get this strange warmth. And as you are kind of feeling that warmth kind of connecting to you, you do notice that there's this kind of beam of light kind of ascending from below and kind of grabbing onto your ankle and anchoring you. And it's a very relaxing feeling, but it's not demanding that you return. It's more of like an asked question. It's like, do you want to come back?
Amara will look around at the sea of faces and that, and um, there'll be a hesitation in her, like maybe there's somebody here that she really wants to see, but she'll sort of steel her own resolve and say, "I followed a light here, I might as well follow a light back." And she will grab onto the tether and try to follow it.
All right. You kind of pass out for a moment as you kind of accept this strange request from this light. And you don't even black out. You just see this blinding trail of what looks like diamond dust and just pure light kind of envelop you as you suddenly feel like you're being pulled back down to the plane. And eventually the blinding light is so bright that you can't even see the dust anymore. And when the light stops moving and the dust continues to reveals itself to you again, your eyes are already open, and the light kind of starts gaining colors and features, and you start hearing things again. And a feeling that you wish you didn't have to feel at the moment is just sudden back pains and just chest pains and just pain all over your body as you start coughing, and you start realizing that you're in this a very open room, and you see somebody has their hands over you as there's a cleric wearing full armor standing above you. He seems to be some sort of servant wearing, and the emblem on his chest is like this glowing sun around over his armor, and he's glowing positively as this diamond dust is just drifting around you. And you look around to your left and your right, and there's no one else with you besides this cleric and Tibrin.
Okay. As I sort of like come to consciousness, I'll like throw my hand out and just sort of grasp onto this guy's. Now I'm really weakly because I have like no strength right now, and I'll just be like, "Oh, God. What happened?"
The Tibrin says, "Well, do you want the short story or the long story?"
I'm not sure that I'm up for a long story right now.
Okay, well, the cleric just says, long story, she's gonna need a rest. So Tibrin's like, all right. So let me tell you what I heard. And he tells you that, and you're pretty well aware of what happened already, but it's kind of unbelievable that it did. So he takes a couple minutes to tell you the stuff that you already know. They got blinded from the color spray, and they were stunned and blinded. And then when they finally came to, after you guys tried to avoid them, they pulled out crossbows and, well, they shot you in the back. One of them hit you so hard that you actually landed and hit your head on the ground as well, and that's what did you in. But the second crossbow bolt is what killed you. And he tells you that, and he says your friend, from what I understand from what the guards saw, is that your friends were very confused for a moment, and the one person, I think it was Frederick, is the one that defeated them. So it's well, you're alive now, and that's what matters. We'll be heading back soon. I'm sure Sergeant Pennyworth is giving your companions hell right now for letting that sort of thing happen.
Did the did the dwarves both live? I know they were hurting. They did wrong, but they were reacting to the death of their father. That's a pain I understand.
Yeah, they're actually both alive. I guess Frederick hit one of them in the head, but if he wanted to, he could have easily killed them. At least from what the dents look like in their armors.
I've seen him fight. I'll believe that.
I'll help you get through the gate. The Templar is waiting for us outside.
Thank you. And thank you, Driven, for helping me. And she turns to the cleric and says, thank you. I saw your light and it drew me back.
He says, well, Tibrin is the one who provided me the diamond, so the casting the spell was easy enough.
Not everybody can do such.
The cleric nods. He says, I've done my duty to my god, and I'm glad that we have potentially a powerful ally in the world to remain here. Just take it easy for the next few days, and you should recover just fine.
Thank you.
Tibrin, you try to stand up, and it's not difficult, just exhausting. And Tiburon, standing at only like 2'4", he's really short. He just kind of grabs your hand and keeps his arms up so you can he can help you walk. He says, all right, so I know you're a little taller than me, but I'm just going to hold your hand and make sure that you don't fall over too easy.
Thank you. I normally don't have this much trouble just walking.
He says, well, when you take a pounding in the back like that, it makes everyone limp. And so he takes you through the gate, and you return to the Adventurers Nexus. Now, the other part of the day. So you three return back to the Adventurers Hall, and Pennyworth is standing there, and he realizes one of you is missing, and he's like, wait, what? What exactly happened? Tibrin said there was some sort of emergency that he needed to go back for.
Well, so we were at the mine, and we tried talking to the miners that were not really wanting to leave, and then they flung dung at me, and we accidentally threw a hand axe at this one miner, and he happened to be unalived. Like, he happened to just die from that, and he really didn't mean to do that. And Frederick knocked them all unconscious as they were trying to come and attack us. And as a consequence of that, when we tried to run away and come back and go back to the gate because they resumed their work and we were sent back, we encountered 3 dwarves that were like the sons of the dwarf that was unfortunately killed in this accident. And one of them.
Sergeant Pennyworth pulling a lot of air quotes right now.
Well, what is that? What does
He's
that mean?
He's like doing like the bunny fingers with both hands.
Oh. Why?
Because it's supposed to like emphasize sarcastic responses. So when you said Ruru accidentally threw an axe and unalived one of them, he's like, he air quotes accidentally.
Well, I can't comment on that really. I'm just giving you like a short report. So, and those 2 dwarves, they decided to fight us, and then I stood in front of them and I told them that we don't want to fight them, and that like also Amara told them that there's got to be another way to fight other than death. You can't beat death with death and all that kind of stuff. And then I blinded them with a spell and stunned them in order to avoid the combat, and I just wanted us to leave because I figured we had done enough. And as we were trying to retreat and basically run away, they snapped out of my spell and turned around and they shot Amara with their crossbow.
Killed her.
Yeah, they killed her. And if I understood correctly, they are in prison right now for murder, or at least accused. And yeah, we left Amara there because Tiburon said he's going to take care of it, and that we will see her soon. So that's the long story, very short. I'm sorry.
He's like, he was pretty relaxed and calm right up until you told him that Amara was killed in action. And he's like, what?
They shot her in the back.
He looks at the 3 of you and he says, to my office right now. And he kind of pushes you guys to his office. And the other adventurers are actually like watching now, and they're like, uh-oh. And you guys get menacingly scolded for ignoring obvious combatants that were intent on killing you. So, and reminds you that people who want to kill you tend to follow you regardless of the consequences, and you should have defeated them sooner rather than later.
But we tried to avoid more useless bloodshed.
Yeah, and look who lost all their blood.
I could not have known that.
Yeah, that's how it usually happens. It's good to be good from time to time, but it doesn't stop you from being dead. He says, I know why Tiburon left now all of a sudden, because if she was resurrected here, it would have went against her own. It would have went against her record. Although it would have been free. Stupid Tiburon.
Well, I'm sorry. I just tried to do the good thing here.
Ruru
Yeah.
takes a note that next time, just kick their butts.
He says, that's the way to think about it. You can render anyone unconscious at almost any time. Sure, it's a little weak. It's harder to hurt them harder to land a blow when you don't want to kill them, but it's just as effective as dealing regular damage. Says, but
So
enough
this is
about
my
that.
fault.
No, it's not all of your fault. It's not just your fault. It's all of you. Says, if you hadn't accidentally killed that dwarf, I'm sure his friends wouldn't have accidentally attacked you too.
Ruru whimpers and has her ears back.
He says, but that's a consequence of taking direct actions for direct results. Says, people act hostile to people who act hostile. And that's just the way of things work. But I think you've learned your lesson here. He says, I will have to reprimand you later. As for now, get the hell out of my office. Oh, and
Ruru,
here's a reward. He gives you guys 50 gold coins.
Ruru accepts her reward and sulks out the room, almost as depressed as she was yesterday.
All right, so you're kind of bummed out that your actions have led indirectly have caused your friend's death.
Yeah, I've technically killed 2 people today.
And so eventually Amara and Tiburon, you get back to the Adventurers Hall and through the gate, and you go through all the alleyways. And surprisingly enough, when you travel through the monstrous area, people are kind enough to not trample over you and just kind of avoid around you. And you get to the Adventurers Hall, and Sergeant Pennyworth has his arms crossed and is tapping his foot, and you feel like that you're in trouble, and he's like, Tiburon, and Tiburon's like, yeah, boss. He's like, I have to have a word with you about overdoing your job. And he's like, yeah, about that. You see, what happened was in my office. Okay, boss, you got it, boss. Yeah, well, you're home now. You're safe and sound. And Tiburon starts heading towards Pennyworth's office, and Pennyworth himself walks over to Amara and gives him 50 gold. Says, "Good luck on your recovery."
Thank you, Sergeant. And thank you, Tiburon. I do appreciate it.
He gives you a thumbs up and a very cocky wink as he goes into the office. And do you want to listen to what he's doing? Like their argument, or?
How far away is it? Because she's still feeling real shit.
It's just like 100 feet away. And it's not going to be quiet, so you'll probably hear it.
Yeah, she'll just stay there for a second, sort of shoring up her defenses so that she can, walk the rest of the way and just sort of keeping an ear out for what's going on behind her.
Okay, so you're walking to a nearby table, probably to sit down and order something to eat. It's free to eat here. And you hear, it's kind of quiet at first, but you're close enough to the room where you can hear Pennyworth say, you keep doing this, you're going to lose all your gold. You can't have many more of those diamonds left. And Tiburon says, it just mocks him. He's like, you don't have that much diamonds left. He's like, I'm really serious. They won't learn their lessons if you don't realize the costs. That's why we put the whole debt system into the guild, so that they realize that dying is not cheap. And Tiburon says, oh, come on. They're just rookies. They don't even know what to do with themselves half the time. He's like, that's the point. So they figure out what they have to do with themselves. And Tiburon just continues to mock him. And he's like, fucking Jesus, get out of my office. And Tiburon opens the door, and Pennyworth was like, wait, hold on. How do you even get those diamonds anyway? He's like, Tiburon just looks around. He closes the door and he's like, he just loudly says, trade secret. Maybe you should learn how to investigate, Pennyworth. And then he opens the door and leaves. Pennyworth leaves as well, leaves his own office. You can see he's a little more than annoyed with Tiburon.
Amara was really worried about Tiburon at first, but like hearing the way he reacts and plays with the sergeant, she just sort of gives a small chuckle to herself and tries to wave somebody down for some like hot soup or something.
Yeah, so a retainer, you've taken your order already, so a retainer approaches and gives you some food. So you guys gain an additional 300 experience for dealing with the Dwarven warriors, even though that was mostly Frederick.
It was all Frederick. Everything was Frederick.
Yeah.
And I forgotten to give you guys this because I kind of forgot about it, but you guys have gained 3 fame counters.
What is that?
And basically it allows you to purchase magical items later on.
Okay. Where do I put that?
So, Nayri, you've been in 2 games.
Yeah.
So your fame counter should be 26.
Okay.
You two, Ruru and Amara, you're both standard. So your fame count, and you've been in 2 games as well, I believe.
Yep.
So your fame counter should be 11.
Fame counter 26, you said, or 27?
26.
Okay.
Ruru's famous for murder. I'm famous for dying.
I don't know what I'm famous for.
You don't want to know. No, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. And that's the end of today's adventure. So missions was successful.
I'm doing the bunny air quotes now.
Successful. And yeah, it didn't go out the way that you guys expected, but it was finished. And with that, I'll just say that's the end of the game. Thanks for anyone for watching, and thanks to you guys for playing.
Thanks for running it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And we'll be and hopefully the next adventure will go a lot more smoothly.
Well, to be fair, we've had a couple adventures go pretty smoothly, so it was about time we fucked one up beyond belief.